Hello.
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 Hi, how's everybody doing?
Well, this is Mia.
Hi,
I'm
Mia.
okay.
Snap time. It's always snap time.
Hey, it's nice to meet you guys. I can't really see any of you.
Oh,
You guys are, of course, welcome to have your cameras on or off. Oh, there's somebody. Hi.
hey.
Mia's here, but I don't know how to get my
There we go.
video working.
Awesome.
Hi, Kim.
Oh, I have my tablet over here.
And you're looking camera over here. I know.
Fine. I'll just never be looking at you, but I'll be looking at you.
Oh, it'll make me feel just at home, like I'm in front of the class and you're looking at your computer, you know?
Yep.
Hello. Let's see. So, how do you
I don't know if anyone can hear me. This is Mia, but I can't see anybody again. Sorry.
Hi, Mia. I can hear you. I'm assuming we can all hear you. It looks like your video camera's off.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm trying to fix it. Be right there.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there. Can you hear me when I'm talking now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It went to a weird screen. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Hi, person. I have no idea. Can anybody see me? Or is like I'm seeing different people?
We can't see you. Your camera's still off. There should be a little icon at the bottom that says start video. And that should fix it, hopefully, maybe.
Maybe so. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yikes. Got out of the pool. No judging.
Oh, I wish I had a pool.
Nobody's judging about getting out of the pool.
Actually, we're going to have the class in the pool, so I need everybody.
Oh, excellent. It is a good pool.
I have a bathtub. Does that count?
That would be awesome.
Good workaround. Okay. Wow.
Hey guys, well, welcome. We're, the first few minutes are going to be a little chaotic as people kind of figure things out. So please be patient here. How are you guys?
Yeah, I thought maybe this was enough for today.
It's an effort just to get up.
Yeah, we're done for the day.
Yeah.
Right? It was a success. Let's stop.
Yeah, we
now.
met and
Let's
now,
stop while we're ahead.
I agree. It's only going to get worse from here.
Really? I didn't know. I mean, you guys are on my phone on Zoom, and I had my computer set up separately because I wasn't really sure.
Okay, well, the probably the best way to interact with everybody is via computer, just because you got your camera right there and your audio. But of course, you can use Zoom. You can probably use a tablet. I've never used one, but I'm assuming you can.
When I tried to use my iPad, it wanted some kind of a passcode.
Oh,
I don't know why.
okay.
Well, are we supposed to be doing something on our computers? That's why I didn't log in there, because I didn't want to switch windows.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess theoretically, if you could get an iPad to work, you could like be viewing the class on your iPad and working on the computer. That's sort of a two-screen setup. But if you just have a computer, you can do your work on your computer, and you could like put me in a little window or something up in the
Yeah,
corner.
I could split window. I just put you guys are on my cell phone on a cooler.
Oh.
Because that's how I roll. and then the laptop's next to
Oh,
it.
cool.
So.
That's a nice setup. Very nice.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. No flunking yet. Whew.
Oh, wait,
I
I got to admit some more people that were in the waiting room here.
But you don't want them to just wait forever?
They probably have been. Frankly, we've been sitting here talking for 5 minutes, and these people are like, hey, let me in.
I'm sure it's fine.
After seeing some epic Zoom meeting fails, I'm going to participate. I'm having lunch. Sorry.
Okay. I guess that's our.
I knew it. I knew I wouldn't have been the only one.
And worse. Could be
Fine,
worse.
I'm just gonna spill Snapple all over everything.
We should all order pizza at exactly the same time, and then we can have lunch together.
I can do
Awesome.
that.
Okay, so as people come in, will there be more and more little windows and my phone will suddenly, you guys will be really, really small? Because right now I have 4 people.
No, what's going to happen is it will only show so many windows, and then like on my computer, there's a little arrow where I can scoot over and see more people. Hello.
So on my computer, there was a little button up at the top that switched between speaker view and gallery view.
Right. So you could see like a strip of people, or you could see a gallery of people.
Yeah.
I see 4. I'm tipping the phone. Nothing.
Those are the 4 most important people.
Yeah, I'm going to take out a Kim for sure.
Everybody else is just a walk-on player. Well, welcome to all of you who just came in and all of you who are here. There's going to be more people probably jumping in as we go, but why don't I start talking about some important stuff, and then we'll accommodate any questions you guys have. So, you know, first of all, let me say I really wish I could be with all of you in person. Obviously, this pandemic has changed all of our lives. We're somewhat fortunate to have the ability to have a class online, but then again, we're somewhat unfortunate because it would be nice if the only way to do this were in person, and so we're forced to get together because I prefer one-on-one interaction. I'm sure you guys too do as well. But you know, we're gonna do the best we can with the tools provided, and we're gonna have fun and learn. And so I hope you guys are okay with that. If any of you guys have any suggestions how we can improve this process, I'm open to it. You know, obviously we're all in our homes or in a comfortable space. We're using whatever equipment we have available to us, and there may be some issues. Some people may have slow internet or dropouts or whatever. I am recording this, hopefully. Let's see.
Great.
Yeah, let's see. It says pause, stop recording. So wait, let's see. Is it actually? Yeah, it's recording. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put the recorded versions of these classes up online so you guys can check them out. Now that's
Perfect for the slow person. Thank you.
Yeah. Now that's going to be important to some of you. One of the first things I should say is that this is a virtual class, and there's a difference between a virtual class and just sort of an online class, right? The difference between the two is that a virtual class happens at a specific time. So it's kind of like if you were actually getting in your car and driving to Pima at 1 o'clock and being there from 1 to 4:30 for the class. This class is going to occur during that time. However, that being said, there is a little bit of time shifting available in the sense that I am recording the class. So some of you who have issues about time, like I know some of you have written to me and said, that you have things like maybe a work schedule that interferes with some of the classes, or maybe you have child care or other issues. And that's fine, life happens, right? And that's why we're recording the sessions so that you can catch up if you miss one. But just so you know, just so we're on the same page, what Pima's expectation is for this virtual class is that we're going to be together, approximately in the hours of 1 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday. Now, that being said, I'll go back to the fact that, life happens and sometimes you're not going to make it. If you know in advance that's the case, let me know, because I do have to take attendance, and I can give you an excused absence if you have to work, if it's your birthday, if you're buying a penguin, whatever, whatever the legitimate excuse is that you have to miss class, right? Okay, any questions about that so far?
No.
No, not really.
Okay. All right, so why don't we start off by, let me go ahead and take attendance, and I will go ahead and try and match your names up to the screen names I see, and then some people I'm going to have to ask for a little explanation, like I see a little L, and I see user 826. So when I get to you guys, please let me know who you are, okay? So let's see. First of all, I've got Luke. Luke, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, Luke is here. Okay. So, hello, Luke.
Hello.
Let me go ahead and mark you as present. Okay. Pam, that's you, Mia. Is that right?
Yes, I use Mia or Pamela, and I really hate Pam.
Okay. I have here. I'll only use that when you've done something wrong. Okay.
Only when you're in trouble.
Yeah, when you're in
That
trouble.
would be all the time. So let's just.
Let's just say. Is like, are you guys like me? Like, does your mom only use your full name when you're in trouble?
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
my full name is Gregory, and the only person who ever uses that is my mother when I'm in trouble. Still at my age, right? And so, I don't like people to call me by my full name because I think I'm in trouble. Okay. So let's see. Claudia, are you here? I'm on a different screen.
Hi.
Yes. Claudia's here. Okay, I can see that. Okay, now I can see both. Let's see. Alma is here. Hello, Alma.
Hi.
Let's see. I'm looking for Eric. Are you here? Eric? Okay. Oh, I have a second Luke, so I guess I have to. I have one Luke who is here. Luke, are you? Let me see. Are you a beta or Cottrell?
I'm a beta.
You're a beta. Okay, so you're the Luke that I know. Okay, so is Luke Cottrell here? Okay.
Yeah, right, I'm here.
Luke Cottrell is here. Okay, great. And then let's see. Adrian is here. I see you. Serena is here.
Hi.
Hi, Serena.
Hi.
Let's see. Okay, we have Yi Chun Ong. Are you here? Okay. Milo. No. Okay. Diego is here. Diego's here. Okay. Anthony. Nope. Okay. Kim is here. Let's see. Robin is here. Hello, Robin. And Brianna is here, correct? I see a little. Hello. Okay. So it looks like we're missing Anthony, Milo, Yichun Ong, and Eric. Does that sound about right? Then you guys are here? Okay. All right. Okay, so maybe some of those guys will jump in. Maybe they're figuring out the whole internet thing. All right. So once again, welcome. I'm
My
sorry?
name wasn't called.
What's that? My name was not called?
Yeah.
Cynthia?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. My apologies.
Mine either.
Oh, you're right. You're right. My screen was not far enough down. Yeah, there's actually at least 2 of you I know that are here.
I was going to say hidden second page.
Yeah. Right. Oops.
Oh, well.
Is that what that little arrow is? Okay. Cynthia, you're here. I got a second Eric. So I don't think I have any Erics in my lineup right here. Oh, we have 2 Erics on the attendance, but neither of them are here, correct? Okay, but I do see, and I want to ask how to pronounce your name. Is it Carolina? Carolina?
Yeah, Carolina.
Carolina. Okay, great. I see you. Thank you. You're here. And I think that's it. All right. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. Let me go back to Zoom here. Okay. So the first day of class is the day when you try to get some things out of the way that you only have to do once per semester. And so there will be things like creating Google folders and talking about the syllabus and all that kind of stuff, right? So let's get right to that so we can kind of put it behind us. Now, one thing that I want to point out to you guys is, there is a website for the class, and you guys, I sent you that in the email. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen. Now you can take this screen that I'm sharing, you can make the window kind of small and move it over if you want to do other things, but I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you guys some things I'm talking about here.
Will it be where your face was?
Well, yes, and then I think my face is going to get real small and go over in the corner here. Let's see what happens.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, oh man, that is small. Yikes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the class website, which is located at pima.dreamco.com, right? And I'm gonna show you that this is where all the information about the class is going to live. Okay. Now we already took the attendance, so what I would like to do at this point is probably your favorite thing in the world to do, which is introductions, right? I know you guys, I know the only reason that you go to school is so that on the first day you can stand up in front of everybody and say a few words about yourself. I know that about you. So we're going to do that. So I'm just going to start, let's see, with the top. Kim, you are at the top of my window. So you are the first. Would you be willing to tell us a little bit about yourself? We'd love to hear it.
Absolutely not. There's nothing interesting about me.
Well, I
Okay.
know you. I know you, and you are.
Yeah. Yeah, you already know me. Are you sure everyone else needs to know, though? I keep forgetting the camera's over here. I go to look back at my tablet.
Why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us what your program of study is, and maybe where you're from, what you like to do, whatever you think is you want to share with
Yeah. So I'm Kim. I'm an animation major. I'm also double majoring in film and editing. I've been trapped in Tucson my entire life. Please send help. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be here anymore. I don't know anything else interesting right now instead, other than the screen took over as I'm drawing a picture.
Uh-oh. No, that's terrible. Like all you see is my stuff.
Could you?
So how much longer have you got in school, Kim?
I believe it's a semester and a class.
Okay.
Assuming I pass this, knowing that I will pass this one. Let me correct myself.
Oh, that's nice. I like that confidence. Now, are you confident just because you're a confident gal, or because you're good at software, or what?
I refuse to fail this class. I refuse to fail any class.
Okay.
My last failed class was in high school because the teacher decided to throw out the book, but test us on the book.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're going to do in this class.
Oh, man.
I love when that happens.
I should have hidden the book. It's required, but it's hidden. I'm going to send you some. I'm going to send you some geolocation data. It's going to be like a Pokemon. You're going to have to go throughout the world and try to find the textbook.
Bold of you to assume I wouldn't go around the world, even if it was for a book.
All right. Thanks, Kim. So let's see. The next, I think it's Carolina or Lena. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not that interesting. That's the thing.
Everyone's interesting.
I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm in my first year of animation.
That's cool.
But I've been in school for 2 years already.
All right.
And you say first year of animation?
Yeah, I just changed my major.
And what was it before?
I was in liberal arts.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Liberal arts?
Oh, it was just sort of a general liberal arts, and now you're animation?
Yeah.
And what do you want to do with your animation?
Maybe move to California and work for a studio.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And do you have a studio that you like?
I like Disney Studio and Nickelodeon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. So you're into two-dimensional animation?
2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, basically a whole broad of it.
Okay, cool. And do you have a program you really like to use to animate?
No, not really. I do pencil and paper usually.
Ooh,
Classic.
Wow.
yeah.
Ooh.
Will you share some of that with us sometime?
Eventually.
When we pay you
I'll
for it, right?
I have my drawing book with me today.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's very interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we're down here to you, Mia. You wanna share something about yourself?
I don't like my short version of my name.
The Pam version?
Yeah, that's all I got. They call me what is it, a non-traditional student because I just turned 60. Awesome, just had my birthday.
Happy
Um,
birthday.
Huh?
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Right? Thank you. I have an identical twin, so we share a birthday, and I have a 10-month older sister, so we're almost like triplets. And you guys are just, hopefully you'll get used to me. I'm a little ADD. I can't see anything but the shared Dreamco screen, so I don't know if you can see me but I do notice that I'm moving around like a ton while the rest of you that I can see are sitting so nicely. Other than that, I'm liberal arts, digital arts, maybe photojournalism, photography, and languages. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of art interest. That's cool.
Very diverse. Yeah.
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 Okay, well, thank you, Mia. We'll try to remember to call you that.
Okay. It literally stands for missing in action. So
I like it.
giving you a hint, trying to give you guys a heads up. Kim's already going to be able to deal with me, I can tell. But
Yeah.
Okay, Diego, I've got you up next. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yay. I'm Diego. Well, I've been in Pima for a couple years. I just got into the design art field, and I just been interested in drawing and physical sports. So I'm mostly a soccer dude, mostly athletic, but I like to draw. So I want to learn to use a trackpad because I'm left-handed and everything's
Wow.
right-handed. So some of my classes were a bit difficult, but you know, I get used to it. So it would be great just to use my left hand for once.
Yeah.
I'll finally be able to make something decent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. You say you're a soccer player. I play soccer too.
You do?
It kind of sucks right now. The team I was playing on, which is a Tucson, co-op team,
Mm-hmm.
haven't been playing since the start of the pandemic. Has that happened to you?
I'm still playing soccer. I still have a consistent team that's playing, but I'm not in a soccer game this week. But I know there's one upcoming for me next week, so it's still continuing. But like, there's some teams that wanted it and some teams that didn't want it until later. But now things are just up in the air.
Does anybody play with masks?
I see one person. You don't see much, but I have my mask with me, but I don't wear it on the field. I find it's like a big thing in the way that's like losing my breathing skills because I need to breathe in and out, not through a mask and do that.
Yeah, I can see that on the soccer field.
But like in a social distancing wise, like I keep my distance. I know make sure to be clean and stay like healthy, And,
yeah, good for you. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Diego. Thanks for sharing all that. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Okay, now the next person is the one with the purple background and the letter S. Let's see. And that's Serena. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. How are you guys?
Good. You.
I'm good. So, yeah, my name is Serena. If you want to short, it's totally up to you guys. I usually go by Rena, I guess by friends. So it's up to you guys if you want to call me that. I don't really have a whole lot interesting, like I guess. I'm a person who probably draws 24/7. My major is digital arts, and I'm hopefully maybe in the future possibly change it to animation. I always wanted to go into 2D animation or anything that's I guess like 2D gaming, if that makes sense.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
2D gaming is great. I love that stuff.
yeah, if that's considered. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much all that I'm into. I just I guess I just kind of sit here all day and just draw whenever I can.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Serena, let me just make a mention to you that you and I have been talking about getting signing out a Pima laptop to you.
Correct.
And I got a email today that they're going to have the laptops in tomorrow, and they're
Okay.
going to configure the software. What that probably means is that I can get it to you this weekend.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I wrote to him and I said, if we can get it tomorrow, great, but that may be too quick. So you and I can talk individually and figure out when we can meet up, and I can get you that. Okay.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay. And by the way, I want to put that out to all you guys. Pima does have some laptops that they're just getting in tomorrow that they're going to configure the Adobe Suite on. And if any of you are in a position where you're sort of underpowered from a computer perspective, we can check one of those out to you for the duration of the class. So just let me know if that's your situation.
That's awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Serena.
Thank you.
Let me go down to,
Teacher,
yes.
this is Mia. I'm sorry. Can you see if you can add me again into a meeting? I'm trying to sign in with my laptop and see if I can see more of what's going on. Or is it too late?
Add you again to the meeting? All you have to do is click on the link again, I think.
Yeah,
You might
please
need
wait.
to
The meeting
accept
host.
her in because you have the waiting room.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's in the waiting room. Okay.
I'm going to
Jeez.
disappear for a second. I realize I need glasses, and glasses makes things easier for me.
Okay, I just
Gotcha.
added you back in.
Cool. Yeah, now I can see the rest of everybody. Thank you so much.
Apologies to whoever introduces themselves next.
Okay. So I don't see.
That's me.
Okay. I don't see a name for you, sir, but you've got headphones on, over-the-ear headphones.
Me?
Yes.
Luke?
Oh, okay. Hi, Luke.
Hi, yeah, it doesn't say my name on there because I'm using my phone for the audio and speaker.
Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Luke. I'm majoring in digital arts. I'm a musician and an artist, and I just want to do something creative for money because it's hard to make money doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you want to do sort of the commercial side of art to make money?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's especially hard being a musician right now with
Yeah,
very music hostile pandemic environment, right?
Mhm.
right. Who knows what's gonna happen after this? Honestly, I feel like
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
I might kind of just get sucked into this virtual world of socializing.
yeah, that's that I think a certain amount of that is definitely going to happen for a while, and it's unfortunate, but I guess we got to make the best of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Luke. Okay, so let's see, who else have we got here? Okay, sir, with the hat on, that's looking down right now. I don't. It doesn't show your name. Can you tell us your name and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Aibawa. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hi, Adrian.
Yeah, I can hear
Your
you.
name now.
Okay.
Hola.
So I'm gonna get an applied science of digital arts. So that's the degree I'm going for.
Okay.
Ever since I was little, I was drawing and all that, and I kind of want to be a professional one day. So I want to learn as much as I can in this course and all my other courses I'm taking to become a good artist. And then I think I will become one, hopefully.
Nice.
Good aspirations, yeah.
And do you have a specific kind of art that you like to do, or?
Well, I'm kind of transitioning to digital, but I used to do a lot of traditional stuff.
Okay.
I haven't been doing that lately, so I kind of want to know more about the digital now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a drawing tablet that you draw on, or?
Yeah, I use an iPad and drawing an XP Pen tablet.
Nice. Yeah, those iPads are really fun to draw on, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find the software.
Yeah.
I
Have you ever
remember
drawn?
when I was drawing on. Oh, excuse me, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you ever drawn on a Cintiq?
Oh no, that's a luxury right there.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, those are made. Those are my favorite. Those are out of
What's it
control.
called?
The
What is
Cintiq.
it?
It's called a Cintiq, and it's a giant drawing tablet. It's basically a monitor that you can draw on.
How do you spell it?
Cintiq.
Okay.
But they're very expensive.
Yeah,
They're
they're $2,000. They're $2,000 for the.
Oh,
Yeah, they're,
I'm a little too broke for that, but my XP pen, was like $300, and I can draw directly on it. It's really cool.
Which one did you got, Kim?
The XP pen, what is it, 22 something? I'd be able to look it up real quick, but I'm afraid screen sharing blocks out everything but screen share.
really?
I think I got the
Yeah.
XP Pen 12 or 15. No, I think it's the 15-inch or 12-inch, something like that.
I'm going to stop the share so that you guys can actually do other stuff while we're talking.
Well, you can go to exit full screen and you can do other stuff.
Okay.
I just did that, so.
All right. Thank you, Adrian. Okay. Let's see. Robin, can we go over and to your neck of the woods and talk about you?
Hey, yeah. Hi guys, I'm Robin.
Hi.
I have a lot of different interests, a lot of different goals, so I've been trying to find ways to like mash them all together. I just graduated from the U of A with a psychology degree in fine arts. So I don't know, I just wanted to develop my skill a little more, learn more about some graphic arts.
Cool. So how did you like the U of A?
It was good. My plan was to go to grad school, but it's expensive, so I'd rather come here.
Yeah, right. Affordable.
Yeah.
Very affordable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous comparatively. I mean, it's like 10 times more over at the U of A or whatever. But yeah, well, it's great to have you here, and it's nice that you have a degree, and now now are you focusing on something that's a little more for you? These kind of arts stuff?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I just thought I'd try it out, honestly, and I'm excited about it too.
Okay. Good.
All right,
Well, we're
cool.
excited to have you. Okay, let's see. So next I have Claudia.
Hi. Yeah. Hi. Sorry.
Hi, Claudia.
Myself. Hi. Hi. I'm Claudia, and I just moved to Tucson, actually, from New York City. Pretty new to Tucson, and then COVID-19 happened, so not very familiar with the city, but like it so far. I have a degree in English, and I mainly work in marketing. I got into marketing because I started working in copywriting. So I wrote a lot for like digital media, social media. And that's how I kind of started getting involved with graphic design, and it was required for my work. So yeah, that's why I'm here in the graphic design degree or path. Or
Okay, great. And what do you think of Tucson so far?
I can't really say because I moved here in November last year.
Okay.
So, but so far, I mean, so good. I actually started the spring semester in person, and it was great. Like Pima has been great, but then like
Yeah.
the whole thing happened, so still not very familiar with the city. Any recommendations are more than welcome for when this is all over.
We will email you. You will be
Please, yes.
inundated.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Claudia. It's great to have you. And be interesting to hear what your observations of Tucson are as you go forward. Okay, thank you very much. And let's see. I think next is Alma. Alma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Alma, and
Hi, Alma.
I'm also a non-traditional student. I just take a few classes here and there. I just picked up photography, so now I'm wanting to do some Photoshop and editing classes.
What kind of photography are you doing?
Portrait.
Oh, nice. So you have all the lighting and everything?
I've been getting stuff little by little.
Yeah, it's expensive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but just a few things here and there, and you can add it all.
Yeah, I'm sort of a guerrilla photographer. Like I go to Home Depot and I buy those little silver dish lights. You know what I mean? They look like bowls. They look like silver bowls. With
Oh yeah.
And then I buy, then I go and I buy paper that is like vellum, and I tape it over it to produce sort of filtered light. So I have my own little guerrilla studio set up with that.
That's nice.
Guerrilla Studio.
But I dream of a real lighting kit. They're just expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been getting them for like Christmas or my birthday. What do I want? That's what I ask for.
Smart. That's a good way to get
Yeah.
together. All right. Thank you, Elma. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Cynthia, we got you here. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Tucson, and I love it here because there are so many beautiful murals that show history and culture, like mostly Mexican culture. My family's originally from Juarez, Mexico, and I'm majoring in digital arts with a concentration in design, and I wanna maybe work for like a company such as Disney because that's always, you know, something cool to do. And yeah, I do a lot of traditional art. I just want to switch to learn how to do digital art.
Okay, and so you said you might like to work for somebody like Disney?
Yeah, something like that.
Doing animation or just graphics or whatever they need from you?
Yeah, whatever they need.
Are you aware of those Disney mentor ship programs that they have?
No, I'm not.
So there's these programs where Disney will take student mentors, and they get to spend a semester working at one of the Disney parks.
Oh, wow.
And then you know, depending on what type of mentorship it is, you can get some experience with things like graphics and animation and stuff. And we've had some students who have done it. In fact, one of my previous students is over in Disney World in Florida right now, and doing one of these. And she says like it's a dream come true for her, you know?
Wow.
So yeah, you might look into that. And if I can get some information about that, I'll pass it on to you guys.
I was gonna say, it's like, how exactly do we do that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can I leave
Like,
this
sign
class
me
and do
up?
now? Let's all do it. I'm going to do it too.
For sure.
Okay.
Let's go. It's fine.
Let's see. Then we have Luke, the other Luke, Luke Abeta. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm the actual Luke here. Well, like I said, I am Luke. I'm a technicality of a art animation degree that might transfer, but maybe not because, you know, pandemic.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, other than that, I'm an avid computer gamer with parentheses or whatever. And is anyone else seeing just black on the Zoom call?
So, Luke, you don't have your video or something because all we see is black on you.
I
Your,
don't think I
your
have a.
video must be turned off.
There was
I
a
don't
little
think
button I had to find.
There's a little button that says video at the bottom of the Zoom screen, bottom left on mine.
I don't think I have a camera attached to this monitor.
Okay. Okay, that's probably why.
Well, that will make
I'm
things
thinking
a
that
little more
could be it,
difficult.
Luke.
It also didn't show anything when you shared your screen, Greg.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's problematic. Okay, well, Luke, you might be a candidate to rent or not rent, but check out a laptop. What do you?
I mean, I was planning on doing the Zoom meeting using another item I have, but it needed to update, and it's there's a complicated problem I have with that tablet. I also have Zoom on.
Okay, well, will you let me know if you have technical issues with this stuff, because I can check out a laptop to you.
Sure, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell us about yourself, Luke?
I kind of don't like laptops, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So, well, you and I can talk about that. Okay. Let me see. Is there anybody? Oh, yes, a couple more. Brianna, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Brianna. My camera's not working on my computer, so probably for the later Zoom meetings, I'll just do it on my phone. I am a senior at Grand Canyon University. My major is animation, and my minor is communications. I love anime, and my art style is more towards 2D, not so 3D. I think that's about it. I lived in Tucson practically my whole entire life. I thought this class would be really fun, and since I suck at everything Adobe, I thought this class might save me.
Oh, hopefully it will.
Please, I hope it does.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you. I'm a fan of anime too, and I'd love to see some of your work at some point. Yeah, I'd love to see everybody's work. Maybe we can have you guys put some of your work in the shared folder so we can check it out.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see. Now, I'm scrolling through the list of pictures here, and I think I got everybody, but is there anybody who didn't get to introduce themselves? Besides me. I think that's everybody. Okay. I'll give you the 2-minute introduction for myself. I was raised here in Tucson, and I'm a big fan of Tucson because it's my hometown. I went to Pima College, and I really liked it because it was so cheap. Oh my God, so cheap. And then I went to the U of A, and that was not so cheap, but it was fun. And while I was at the U of A, I got a degree, Bachelor of Fine Arts in a variety of arts. It was a general studies degree. And I started my own freelance company while I was in college, doing web and graphic design. And over the years, that kind of morphed into a bunch of different products and services that I wanted to do and that clients wanted. So I ended up doing some game design, some animation, some comic books, some music, you name it, just kind of the whole digital world. And I even ended up teaching through my company. And that eventually led me to Pima and to teaching at Pima. So that's pretty much it. That's my 2-minute intro. Okay.
I kind of have an interest in that web design stuff, so maybe I didn't hear anybody else really say that so much, but.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple web design classes at Pima that I teach, and if you're interested, you know, maybe you and I could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so I don't know what the science of this is, but I have this firm belief after teaching at Pima for 10 years that 45 minutes is the upper end of when you can keep people's attention before they need a break. And this is from observation. This is from standing in front of a class and talking for 45 minutes and then watching people like collapse on their desktops, right? Face down. So this is my philosophy, my teaching philosophy is to teach for 45 minutes and to take a break, to give you guys a chance to use the restroom, get a drink, recharge, whatever you need to do. So it's been about 45 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a little break. And when we come back, we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts about what we need to do for the class. Okay.
How many minutes?
Why don't you take a 10-minute break?
All right, cool.
Cool. So sit here and keep drawing for 10 more minutes. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or continue to use Facebook for 10 minutes, whatever it is.
I was ordering stuff on Amazon. Just kidding.
Yeah. Right.
I gotta do some shopping.
Yeah, you know, this is a separate window.
Oh no, wait, this is the hard part. No. Cooper! It's the mail! Like, Cooper, if you want to be on camera, you have to come over here. That's how this works.
Yeah, I want to see Cooper.
He's a big baby.
Cooper, here, Cooper.
Baby.
He's gonna try to eat the mailman. Hang on.
What breed is your dog?
He's a pit bull.
Ooh,
Oh, pit
Oh,
bull.
you?
I like pit bulls.
No,
Yeah, I'm talking about you,
Don't.
Coop. Are you gonna come here?
Go away, Cooper.
Cooper. I can see your tail wagging.
Wants the attention, man.
He's lost all of it. Come here. Yeah. Can you come up here? Come on. Yeah, come here. He's not going to, but Cooper, come here. Yeah. Come on. Come on. You gotta come up. I will pet you, but you have to come up. It's fine. New plan.
Resume my recording here. So I'm going to share my screen.
Right.
Okay, so I just took over your screen. So see if there's a little button that will allow you to minimize it so that it doesn't eat up your whole computer.
I did escape and it backed it down to the
Okay, escape.
small window. I did the two.
Yeah, escape works.
Okay.
I can request
Okay.
remote control. Does that mean I can draw on your screen?
No.
Well,
Don't draw on my screen.
Close.
I'm
So
afraid.
close.
Up
So
there.
close.
that's because you're the
Maybe I
person.
can't add on a smiley face.
Well, I think the most you can do is do little emoticons on Zoom. I know, that's probably the highlight of your day, I'm sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is,
Oh, well, I guess I just have this forever now.
I'm going over to the website, and like I said, you can use your escape to minimize my screen share. And I'm going to just show you the class syllabus here and just go through that real quick. So you can get to the syllabus two ways. You can click
Hold on.
here, I'm sorry, was there a question?
I lost my audio for a sec.
Okay. You can get to the syllabus by clicking here, or you can go up to this syllabi section, and then this is the syllabus. Now, depending on what type of computer you have, if you click on it, it will either open it up or it will download it. On Macintoshes, it seems to download the PDF. So this is the syllabus, and it's a generic syllabus that they have for all the PIMA classes. So the vast majority of it, if you've taken a PIMA class before, you've seen. The things that are unique about the syllabus are the information about contacting the teacher, which is up at the top, the description of the class, and of course the meeting time and any books. Now, I'm required to go through this, but some of you have already heard this information many times, so I'll try to do the drive-by version where we just hit the key points and move on. So, and be sure, and by the way, if you guys have any questions, be sure and let me know. I'm happy to answer. So of course, this is the applied computer graphic class. It's a virtual class, which means there are set meeting times, which are a Monday through Thursday, 12:55 to 4:35. And it's going from today into, I believe, August 4th. Up here under instructor information, you have my contact information. The best way to get hold of me is through email, because obviously I'm not in my office right now. And so, you know, calling is not going to be very effective. Let's see. Down here we have a description of the course. Introduction to computer graphics software includes current software, PostScript illustration documents, paint and photo editing documents, desktop publishing documents, and introduction to graphic design concepts. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm glad I didn't write that. Anyway, a more succinct way to wrap up the course is that we're going to teach you the basics of 3 Adobe programs, 3 key programs: Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. And what we'll be doing, this course is about 5 weeks long, right? So what's going to happen is we're going to spend a little bit over a week, a little more than a week, like maybe 5 or 6 days on each of those programs. And then at the end, we're going to do a project that combines all of it. Okay. So let's see. Okay, there's no textbook for the class. Hooray. You can spend that money on pizza and beer if you're of age. Okay.
Oh, and I don't know if anyone noticed, but I got really cooler when I went to my laptop. I'm at the beach. Can anyone see that besides me?
Oh my God.
That's cool.
I have no idea, but it's awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Just want to share.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I set it up once. I don't know. Okay, sorry.
I'll get some Corona and meet you there.
Right? I'm way cooler than I thought I was. Seriously.
Okay, so the student learning outcomes, what you should take away from this class are being able to use the 3 programs I mentioned to do basic graphic design. The way that the class is graded is I create a system of 1,000 points for the class, and then usually I have about 3 projects that are worth, you know, around 300 points each. And then in this case, we'll have 4 projects because, well, we have multiple little projects, and all of the little Illustrator projects are worth, like, you know, 300. All the Photoshop projects are worth 300. All the InDesign projects are worth 300. And then there's the final project, which would be worth the 100. And that makes 1,000 points. And if you get between 900 and 1,000, it's an A. Between 800 and 899, it's a B, and so on and so forth. Now, the way your work is evaluated is there's 2 components to evaluating your work. One is subjective, and that's, you know, I look at it and say, oh, that's nice, you know, and the other is objective, which is, did it meet the assignment? And your grade is a combination of those 2 factors. If you have to turn in a work late, you know, if there's a valid excuse, you know, sickness or, you know, some work emergencies and stuff like that, then there's a possibility that no points will be deducted because there's a valid excuse. But if there's not a valid excuse, then you might lose points turning in work late. Definitely save your work. Try and save your work in 2 places. save it on your computer and maybe also on a flash drive or external hard drive, or even possibly in the Google Drive as a backup. As far as the course schedule goes, we have the class website. Here's the URL for it. And everything's going to be posted there. Every piece of work that we do, all of the downloads and everything. The only thing that won't be posted there is your grades, and those will be in the Pima College website. Okay, that's pretty much the overview of the class. The rest of the stuff here on this final page is general Pima links. Attendance requirements. Attendance is required. So like I said, if you're going to miss a day because due to some legitimate excuse, let me know in advance and I can give you an excused absence. And then, of course, you can always watch the video to catch up. Let's see, student resources and policies. You can click these links to learn about the Pima student handbook. And then, of course, there's Access and Disability Resource Center, and we have a link there for that. Okay, that's kind of my drive-by quick recap of the syllabus. Any questions from anybody?
I have one for the attendance.
Yeah.
Just as like a knock on wood type of thing, but just as your preference, how many of the attendances could someone miss? Hopefully, knock on wood, you don't, but.
That's a good question. I would say, let's see, the way that summer school classes work is a regular semester is about 16 weeks or 4 months, right? And a summer school class is, I'm just going to round down. I'm going to say a summer school class is about 4 weeks, right? Which means if you translate it, every single day that you meet in a summer school class is like a week of regular semester class. So that means there's even more of an emphasis on coming to class because you're missing more if you miss a single day in summer school.
Okay.
So, you know, missing 2 or 3 classes would be like missing 3 weeks out of a class in a full semester. And that's pretty big chunk of missing. Okay. That's maybe like, you know, close to 25% of the semester. So what I would say is, you know, if you're pushing 2, 3 misses, you're going to start getting impacted, right? Everybody can miss 1 class because that stuff happens. When you miss 2, it's like you missed 2 weeks. If you miss 3, that's pretty major. Everybody's different. Some people have to work and then they have to watch the videos. The bottom line is this: if you can make it to class, please do. We'd love to have you, and it's a requirement. If you can't make it to class, please watch the videos and catch up on the work.
Okay.
And the videos will be available on the Dreamco thing?
Yeah, they'll be linked to from the Dreamco website.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let me go back to the class website here. Boom. Okay. All right, so let's see. The next thing we need to do, and many of you have done this already, some of you have even emailed me, is we have to create a folder on the Google Drive for your Pima account, and that's how you're going to share work and turn in your work for me, right? Now what that means is you need to log into Pima's website, to the My Pima, and go to a specific place to create a folder, and I can show you that. So if you go to pima.edu and click the My Pima link and then log in.
Hold on a second. Are you there?
Okay, so next thing you want to do is scroll down and you'll see these little buttons, and I believe you'll see something like student docs or something like that. If you click on that, it should take you to the Google Drive area. And it should look something like this, where it says the word Drive up in the upper left-hand corner with a little triangle, multicolored triangle. And then in here will be any files or folders that you've created. Now, what I need everybody to do is create a folder and share it with me specifically so that we can both access your work. So the way to do that is to go to the top left corner and click on this new button that has a big plus symbol, and then click on the top icon there which says folder. And what you want to do is you want to make a folder, and you can call it dar120, and then put your name, like, you know, Adrienne or Brianna or Alma or Kim or Mia or Luke or Claudia or Diego or Rena.
I'm back at the beach. I made my folder.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I
Make
have
your
the
folder.
wind in my hair. I have to have, you know.
So make your folder, and then go ahead and click the blue create button.
I think I made one.
Now what it's going to do is it's going to highlight your folder, and then what you want to do is right click on that folder and go to the share pop-up.
Oh, have I returned? I've returned. Did you miss me?
Yay! Now, what you want to do in the share is you want to add in my email address, and that is gjlumeau, L-O-U-M-E-A-U, @pima.edu. And then after you've added that, you should be able to click the, let's see, share with people in groups, gjlumeau @pima.edu. That's me. And then notify people, just hit the send button. And then
Wait, which am I supposed to share with you, Greg, or?
Yeah, share with me, just me,
Oh, okay.
gj@pima.edu.
I'm pretty sure. I think I already did that.
Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to send me an email saying you shared a folder, and then you'll be able to put your assignments in the folder, and I'll be able to get to them, and we can bring them up, and I can bring them up here, and we can talk about them in class. And I'm the only one who has access to your folder besides you. Okay. Any questions or problems with that, anybody?
You even see me anymore? The clouds are shifting over here, and so it's really dark right now, and I feel really bright.
It fits. It fits your whole like dark clothing theme.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. So that's the first thing we have to do. The next thing is we have to talk about presentations. Now, what are presentations? Well, every class that we teach, we're required to have the students all participate in something every single time they come to class. It's actually like a federal or state requirement. And we can choose, individual teachers can choose what it is they want to do. Some teachers give you tests. I don't like tests. I'm sure you don't either. So instead of that, what I do is presentations. And what a presentation is it's about a 5-minute sharing of knowledge of something that you're interested in and perhaps passionate about, that you're sharing with the rest of the class, that is in the area of graphics / web / animation / any kind of digital arts that is potentially touched on and covered by this class. So, for example, several of you have mentioned Disney. You could do a 5-minute presentation on great Disney animators, or advances in technology with Disney, or you could do a presentation on the tools of the trade, you know, Adobe software, or you could do a presentation on website design, or anything that has to do with the digital arts and graphics. It's entirely up to you.
Can it be on abstract art?
I would say it could be on abstract art if you at least added some digital component to how abstract art is being, how the digital tools that we have are interacting with abstract art, even if it's just that artists are now making online galleries and you can show something.
Well, they're making online galleries, but there's all these apps to make your regular like photography into crazy abstract, which I love.
Okay, well, yeah, we'd love to see that.
Okay.
Now, what
did you say that sorry to interrupt, but did you say that these were for these presentations are for finals, or are they regular tests, like in place of regular tests? I didn't quite get that.
Okay, let me thank you for that question. Let me rephrase that. What I said was that we're required to do something that involves all the students every time we meet, and that we have the choice to either give tests or things like presentations, and that I have chosen to do presentations instead of tests. Okay, so
I see.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because I wanted to mention something about tests. The quote tests in this class are projects. So you're not going to have a specific test that's going to say, you know, what are the primary colors, what are the tertiary colors, right? Your test will be, here's an instruction sheet, here's a bunch of graphics, go make a magazine cover. You know what I mean? It's going to be project based. Okay. All right. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
it's every time we meet.
Oh, no, you go ahead and finish.
Okay. So let me finish. Or let me clarify. So basically, there's like 15 to 20 students in this class, and we're going to meet 4 times 5, 20 times, right? So what that means is every day, one student will give a presentation, a 5-minute presentation about something that interests them. Like, for example, let's say Mia was the first one to give a presentation on Monday, and she's going to do it on abstract art and also digital, how digital tools are being used to promote abstract art or whatever, right? So on Monday, she does a 5-minute presentation about that. On Tuesday, it's Kim. On Thursday, it's Claudia, you know, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That clarifies it so much more, because I thought we'd have to do like a PowerPoint every day, and I just had a semester of doing nothing but PowerPoints.
Right.
I hate PowerPoint now.
I like that idea. Let's do that instead.
No.
PowerPoint.
Drops class, I'm out. No more PowerPoints. I will draw out my entire presentation and just
I love
just
making
share my
PowerPoints.
screen.
I'm actually really glad you said that, because you can do your presentation any way you want. And if you wanted to draw every screen of your presentation, I would love that. I think it would be cool as hell. Anyway, talking about the presentations, most people use a slideshow program to do their presentations. One of the easiest ways to do it is to use Google Slides, which is already in your Pima account. Okay. For example, if I go back to my my Pima account here, let's see. If I click on my little, this is called a waffle up here because it looks like a waffle, right?
Yeah, a waffle.
Yeah, this little the 9 dots here. But if I click on that, when I'm in the Google Drive area of my Pima account, if I click on this waffle, it shows me a bunch of other Google programs, one of which is Google Slides. Now in Google Slides, it's basically PowerPoint, right? You can make a little presentation and then you can save it right in your folder. Boom, you're done, right? When it comes time to give your presentation, you just open that up and share it with the class, right?
Does it allow you to do like all the same animations as PowerPoint, or could we use PowerPoint, or what's?
It's yes, and yes, you may use PowerPoint. Yes, it's similar to PowerPoint in like the transitions and animations. And you can also use third-party software. There's some websites that are made just for doing presentations, and if you have one you love, be my guest, right? Now what I'm going to do, we're not going to have any presentations this week because it's just today and tomorrow, right? But I will make a calendar for the remaining 4 weeks of class, and I'll put your names on all the dates, and that's when your presentation is due. And if you need to change a date, you know, or want to switch.
Honestly, Teach, you can stick me with the first one if you want to, because.
All right, you want to be Monday?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, so why don't you do Monday?
Thank you for your sacrifice.
I'm going down anyways. I might as well get it over with. Just.
Yeah, right. Because, okay, then you get to, actually that's a great position to be in, because then the nerves are gone. You get to watch everybody else's presentation, right?
Yeah.
Like when I go if I perform or something, like I'm a musician, and if there's like an open mic night or something like that, I want to be first, man. I don't want to sit there and watch 20 people perform and be nervous the whole time. So I totally get, wanting to go first. Okay, so, and let me reemphasize that this presentation can be about anything you want that has like a digital arts component to it. But so I really recommend that you do something you're passionate about. So, like if you're into music, you can talk about digital music. If you're into the arts, animation, you can talk about that. If you're into video and special effects, just share your knowledge with us. We'd love to hear it, and we want to see what you have to say. Okay, so any more questions about presentations?
Greg, I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yes, Robin?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could do a presentation on like an artist that we really admire.
Yes, absolutely. And Robin, I'm so glad you're saying this because I'm deeply touched that you want to do the presentation about me. It really warms my heart. No, yes, whoever you want to do it about is great.
Question, can you give a broad brush what you were calling, sorry to be so dumb. You said it should be on anything that has a digital arts component. How are you, it seems like there's so much digital art. So, I mean, icons, everything that's digital, like
Well,
my digital photography that's kooky.
I'm just trying to give you a broad variety of topics to choose from. What I'd really like you to do is something in the digital arts that you're passionate about. So
Well,
like,
see, and I'm so new. I don't know what you mean by digital arts. Sorry, but I'm trying to get a real handle on what do you mean by digital arts exactly?
well,
Is there,
you're correct in that almost all arts have a digital component to them now, right?
Mhm.
Everything you can think of, music, photography, even painting, like you said, there's a
yeah.
digital component to it. So what that does is it gives you a broad choice of the topics. You can choose virtually any topic in the arts, and it probably has a digital component to it, and then that can be what your presentation's about.
Okay, I thought that's what you meant, but I just.
Okay, no, it's good to ask questions. Was there another question?
Greg, you should
Yeah.
show us some of your art one day.
Okay, you know what? How about this? You guys remember show and tell from like elementary school?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do some show and tell?
Yeah, classic elementary.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
heck yeah.
I'm so old they didn't have it then.
Well, it certainly wasn't digital.
Sorry for laughing.
No, it wasn't digital, that's for sure.
Well, let's
Are
do.
we doing it right now? I can't see anything.
Who's that, Luke?
Yeah.
You can't see any of us, or?
Now, I mean, whenever somebody doesn't have a screen, I see the little thing that's supposed to represent them, like a profile pic, I think.
Okay. And then that's all you see?
Well, like, for example, when Diego Park speaks, I see that little picture that he has for a profile.
Right. Right. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I just don't see, like, you sharing your screen or
Right.
people
Right.
camera
Are you
thing.
on like a computer or a phone?
Computer.
So then in the top right-hand corner, there should be, wait, can we stop the screen share for just a second? Because I remember I fixed this problem. Yeah, okay, so at the top right-hand corner, there should be a button that goes between speaker view and what looks like a little waffle, and that's gallery view. Or you can press Alt F2, and when you do that, it should pop up everyone.
I'm using browser.
Oh, I'm
I'm
not
using the
using browser.
browser extension.
Okay. Luke?
No, in the Zoom meeting, there's a waffle.
Oh, it's the little, so like the 3-dot icons?
Yeah.
So it's like that, only it's like the full 6 to represent, or the full 9 to represent like a gallery.
I wonder if he can't see it because he's in the other one. Can you just do Alt F2? Try Alt F2. See if it'll switch it for you. Because if you can't see what we see, then
that becomes an issue.
Right?
I don't think it's working.
Did you do Alt F2?
Yeah, like I
Sometimes
said,
on my computer, I have to do Function Alt F2 because the way the keyboard works with certain apps.
is function FN?
No, Function and Alt and F2, all three.
Where is function?
FN. Next to Control, maybe?
That's what that button is.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I just had the realization.
Sorry. Yeah, finance.
Hold on.
Funny stuff. Fun. It's the fun button.
Exactly.
Did it work? Sometimes Control F2, Control Alt F2, you might go flying out of the meeting, but.
That's fine.
Okay, well, Luke, I think you and I are going to need to talk individually about whatever's going on with your system.
Maybe it'll fix after if I download it after this class or whatever.
So Luke, do you see the speaker view?
I see who's talking.
No, the upper right of your screen where there's a little the words speaker view. If you hover your mouse over the upper right, so there's the taskbar that's white just below it in the upper right hand corner. If you hover your mouse, you'll see speaker view. It'll appear if you no.
I heard he had the extension of it, not the actual application. Sorry.
Luke, I think we're going to have to, you and I are going to have to talk privately about that, and so we can try and help you with your issues there. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to continue with the class, and then you and I can talk after class, and we can figure out what we're going to do to fix your issues, okay? Okay, so we just talked about the presentations. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Sorry, I know you guys like to have your own screen, but here we are again.
You were saying something about show and tell?
Yeah. So what I think we should do, since many of you are artists, is that we should have a show and tell. And what we can do is we just made these folders that are going to contain our work for the class. But if you want to either put some of your work in the folder or put in a link, you can just create a page and put a link on it to a website where you have some work, then we can do a little show and tell, and we can all share our work with each other. So how does that sound, guys? Does that sound like fun?
Yeah, I like
So
that.
we're gonna make
Yeah. Now I
like
gotta
a
find
little
something that looks
portfolio.
good, but yeah.
Yeah.
Does digital photography count? If it's
Yeah, you can. Anything that's PG, it counts. Now, what I think we should do is, why don't we share stuff once a week on Thursdays? Since this class meets Monday through Thursdays, Thursday is our Friday. And so at the end of the week, any work that you've done or any new work that we haven't seen yet or whatever, you put it in your folder and then we'll share it with each other.
That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
That'd be cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our show and tell. Okay.
It means I have to feel bad and like a lackluster artist from Thursday all the way to Monday.
Right. You get to spend all weekend stewing. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about has to do with the software. Now, I sent you guys an email that said, I sent you 2 emails. One said Pima was going to give us access to the software, and then the second one said, oh, it's not ready yet. Go ahead and download the trial version. Well, after I sent you that second email, Pima actually got the software working. So we're at the point now where even if you downloaded the trial version, you're still okay though. We're at the point now where you can actually, during the course of this class, you can access the Adobe software for free as part of this class. Now, the way it works is, it works the same way I told you in the email, which is you go to adobe.com, you create a brand new account using your Pima email address as the login, right? And then at that point, it's going to bring up a screen saying, do you want to log into a personal account or a company account? And if you click company account, it's going to give you access to all the Adobe software via the Pima account, right? You can download the programs and you can run them on your computer, and you're using the Pima account, all right? Now, I'm just going to go through that process real quick. I'm going to show you here.
Can I just say that there is a student price for all that stuff, and I signed up for it separately, but it's only $19.99 if you do the student. You get that access later after class.
So those of you that don't know, there is a student discount for Adobe software, and it's $20 a month, and you get access to all of the software. So, you know, if you would rather just pay the $20 a month and have your own account, go that route. If you want to use the Pima account free for a month, do that, and then you can sign up. But let me just show you real quick how it works. So you go to adobe.com, and then I'm going to have to make my screen a little bigger here. Sorry about that. Let me refresh this so it'll show me the sign-in screen. Okay, I got to make it full screen and move you guys and hit refresh. Come on, show me the sign-in. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm logged in already. That's the problem.
That does make things a little more difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so you go to adobe.com and there's a sign-in link in the top right corner. So you click on that. And then if you have not created an Adobe account, you click on the blue create an account. And then this is the key part. Use your Pima email address when you sign in here. So because what Pima has done is they've taken their license and they've added your Pima email addresses to it. So that's the only way you're going to be able to access the software, through Pima. So put in your Pima email address, fill out this other junk. When it comes to the password, if you want to, you can use whatever password you want. You might want to use the same password that you're using for Pima's website so that it's all consistent and easy to remember. And then you hit the create account button, right? After you do that, you're going to get a screen that says, you know, do you want to use personal or company? And you choose company, and then you can download the software. Let me try. I've already created my account, so I'm going to just click sign in. And then let me put in my Pima email and hit continue. Now this is the screen you'll get. Personal account or company or school account. Click on company or school account. And then I think it actually takes you, sometimes it takes you to the Pima login screen.
Yeah.
And then you log in, and then it takes you to back to Adobe. Now, once you get to Adobe, you can go ahead and you can download the individual apps that you need for this class. Now, just so you know, there's at least 4 apps we're going to need for this class. The 3 that I mentioned, which are Illustrator, InDesign, and Photoshop. And the 4th one is something called Bridge. And Bridge is a file browser that allows you to sort of go between the other programs. So I would recommend getting those. Now, of course, if you got plenty of room on your computer, you can just download the whole suite, and it's going to have Lightroom and Dreamweaver and Adobe Animate and all that junk on it. So it's up to you what you want to do. Download the whole Creative Suite, or just get the programs we're going to use for the class. Okay, and any questions about that? Okay, so let me go back to the class website here. Okay, so this information here is all about signing up for the Adobe. It's just a replication of what I just said. And so now we're at the point where we're going to talk about Adobe Illustrator and our first assignment. So I know that there's a couple people, I know that at least one person doesn't have a computer yet. Is there anybody else who doesn't have the Illustrator software accessible to them right now? Okay, so all you guys have it? Okay, so let's start up Adobe Illustrator. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this first assignment. Now, whenever we have an assignment here, it's usually a PDF download. And it usually has a couple components to it. The first component is it says learn about, and that's me teaching you how to use certain things. And then the second component is the actual assignment where you do some work, right? So what I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to launch Adobe Illustrator, and then I'm going to go to the class website, and I'm going to click on this link here where it says download assignment. I'm going to download that PDF, and I'm going to open it up in Adobe Acrobat. And this is what it's going to look like. And so, like I said, this first part is the learn section, and then after that is the assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my screen in half here. I'm going to go ahead and have my PDF over here so I can check into what it is I'm supposed to be teaching you. And then I'm going to bring up Adobe Illustrator and make it the other half of my screen. Of course, you guys are welcome to shrink me down, my shared screen down as much as you like, as much as you need to. I know it might be difficult. You got at least 3 things, you know, Illustrator and Zoom and maybe the PDF you're trying to look at. Okay, so we're going to get started with Illustrator here. Is there anybody who needs a second?
Me.
Okay, go ahead and take a second to get
Trying to
everything.
get it to open up. Sorry.
Yeah, get it to load up, download the PDF, all that good stuff.
Loading for me. It might take a minute. It's the first time I'm using Illustrator.
Okay, now for those of you that don't have a computer or that don't have access to Illustrator, please maybe just follow along and look at what we're doing, and then you can try this out when you have access to the program. Okay, so I'll give you guys another second to get started, but I'm going to go ahead and let me try and bring up the welcome screen here.
I tried opening Illustrator and it's not responding.
Okay, I think that Luke, maybe you should just kind of watch today, and then you and I can talk about your computer issues, because I think you've got some things we need to figure out.
I mean, I fortunately downloaded Zoom, but it won't let me in using the actual Zoom application because it requires the host to let me in.
Oh,
yeah, that's typical.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were waiting, so I just admitted you just this second. So my apologies, but it doesn't really alert me when somebody's waiting.
Oh.
So you guys have to let me know.
Yeah, I can see everything now.
Okay,
Sweet.
Perfect. Okay, so in Adobe Illustrator, you guys will have probably a welcome screen that pops up that says, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. I don't remember how to get that damn welcome screen to come up. But basically, what you want to do is click on the link that says Create New, and it's going to give you this option here as to what type of document you're creating. The welcome screen has links to things like create new document, open existing documents, go to tutorials and stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to click, you know, create new, and these are the options you're going to get. You have your recent documents, your saved documents. You can create documents for mobile applications, for the web, for print, film and video, and art and illustration. So let's go over here to the print option.
Can you give me 1 second?
Of course.
Because there's this kind of important opening screen, and it's got a series of, I'm trying to just print screen the 12 of them just really fast, because I don't think it's going to take me back to the opening screen next time, and I don't want to lose this sort of, it's the what's new and what's going on with this program. It's just like 2 more screenshots, I'll be done here, sorry.
Oh yeah, be my guest.
It's kind of like the tips, you know, screen, and I'm afraid it's going to be lost if I don't do this really quick. Sorry.
No problem.
I've never used this either. I'm going to need all the help I can get. I'm almost done. Thank you for your patience. One more. I don't know, did everyone else already go through that screen where it talked about enhanced free distort and real-time rendering and all that?
Yeah,
Right.
mine didn't come up because I have already opened the program. That that help screen comes up the first time that you open it, and
Okay, okay,
I
all
think,
right,
I think
so,
it might come up every time you open it, but my program was already open, so I don't see it.
okay, yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Okay,
so what
thank
we're
you.
going to do now is we're going to go into print, and we're going to use the default size, which is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in what's called portrait mode, which is straight up and down. That's the default. So if you just click on print, it should show you that, and all you have to do is click on the blue create button.
Mine just says letter and it says 612 by 792 PT point.
Yeah, that's
But I
point.
assume that's the paper you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a drop-down menu that lets you change the points to inches if you like.
Okay.
On the right. So that's going to create your generic piece of paper, okay? And this is what we can do our work on. Now, Illustrator is set up like other Adobe programs in that at the very top of the menu, we have some drop-down menus here, right? And the first one is going to be, that we'll use will be File, and that's going to be, you know, open and close and save, all those functions. Edit is going to have your transformation functions. Object is going to have arrange functions like move to the front, move to the back. Type, of course, dealing with characters. Select, dealing with different types of selections. Effects is special effects. View is how you're viewing the screen. Window is all of your floating windows that can pop up on the right-hand side. And of course, help will take you to the Adobe website and give you tutorials and frequently asked questions and their knowledge base. At the very top of the screen are a bunch of widgets and icons which help you with different functions you need to do.
You guys, why am I not seeing your screen? Your shared screen is frozen on mine. Are you? Oh, okay, I see it. Sorry, my bad.
On the left-hand side, we have the toolbox, which is all these icons represent different tools that you can use. In the center, of course, is the document window. And on the right-hand side, we have our floating palettes. And those pop up when you click on one of the icons, they'll pop up. Now, you can make these floating palettes be displayed in multiple ways. You can hover your mouse over the dividing line between the document and the palettes, and it becomes a double-headed arrow. And you can click on that, and you can drag it out, and now you'll see the icons with names next to them, right? And so if you're somebody who likes a lot of information, you can drag those out. If you like as much screen space as you can get, or when you're a little more advanced, you can minimize them, because then you know that these two triangles on top of each other is layers, and you don't have to look it up. You can just have a very small screen there. But if you're just starting out, it's probably a good idea to make that be wide like that.
Oh, how'd you open that? Mine didn't have that.
All you do is take your mouse, hover it over the line, which is between the
Oh, I see.
yeah, and then you can do that. Okay. Now, at the bottom left, we have the view window. You can click on that drop-down menu, and you can very quickly get to different views of your document. Either zoom in or zoom out. Or a really helpful one is this fit on screen, which will fill your window with your document, right? Now, so this is the basic interface, and it's very similar to other Adobe programs. So one of the nice things is when you learn an Adobe product, you're kind of learning them all, or you're at least learning the interface basics for all of them. So when you go look at Photoshop, in fact, in some ways they're so similar that when people, and you'll experience this, I guarantee, when people start learning Illustrator and then they start learning Photoshop, they'll be in one program and think they're in the other. And they'll be looking for a button that's not in that program because they look so similar. So it's a pro and a con, but eventually you'll know your way around them. Okay, so it says there's some things here that I'm just gonna assume that we're okay on, but I'll ask you guys. It says learn basic computer technology like files, folders, desktop window navigation, how to open, close, save, and quit documents. Now, I'm gonna make a general assumption you guys are familiar with all that. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that's key with Illustrator is you want to be able to save your documents. So if you click on the File menu at the top here and do Save, that's how you're going to save your documents. Additionally, if you're on a Macintosh, Command S, or the Windows button S on PC to save. Quick keys to save. Okay, so let's go down here to this objective section here. These are the things I need to teach you, and then after that is the assignment that you're going to do. So the first thing you have to do is learn units of measurements, points, picas, inches in creating documents. So let me ask you, go ahead.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
For mine, on my screen, it only says properties, layers, and library. It doesn't have any of the other functions on the right-hand side.
Okay, great. That's an excellent question. So what I want you to do is click on your window drop-down menu. Okay? And then come down here to where it says workspace.
Okay.
And then come over here and click on this one called essentials.
All right.
Now, does your window realign itself with some different options?
It didn't actually.
I'm sorry, yours looks like mine now, right?
No.
It's Essentials Classic.
Let's see what Essentials Classic is. I think it's just the older version. Anything classic is just means old. Yeah, so basically if you go under window and workspace, these are the different kinds of layouts that you can have Illustrator default to. So essentials is the one that it defaults to. And all these other things are for doing very specific types of jobs. Like if you're painting in Illustrator, you can do this painting drop down. If you're doing layout, you've got this one. If you're doing typography, if you're doing websites, this one, right? So, but let's go to essentials because I think that will be the most helpful for you guys.
Yeah, because I don't have the little bar that you shrunk either, and I've been playing around with essentials, and it's not getting me the little sidebar
Okay.
that you expanded either.
Right, you're right, and the reason for that is because I apologize. I was in workspace layout. Why don't you guys try that real quick?
Oh.
Window, workspace, layout. Now that's going to give you all those little options that I had.
Yeah.
Right. You guys can yours isn't showing that.
Oh, I like this. Sorry.
Okay, Carolina, what you went to workspace layout and it isn't showing this? What's it showing?
It's just showing the character, the paragraph, open tray character, something else, and
Mine worked.
Oh, so in other words, it's not showing all of these. Is it showing some of them?
Yeah, it's only showing some of them.
Okay, that's okay because I may have saved my layout to have more things in it. You can save these layouts. Now, let me tell you an important point, which is you can turn more of these on simply by clicking on the window drop down and clicking on the ones you want to show up.
Ooh.
So go to window and find something that doesn't have a check mark next to it and click on it, and it should show up hopefully over here in your window. If it just shows up floating around the screen, you can click on the tab there and you can drag it over into the right side of your screen until it turns blue, and then let go, and it will dock with that side of the screen. So the bottom line of what I'm trying to show you is that you can have whatever you want over here on the right hand side. You can start by going to one of these different workspaces like essentials or layout or whatever, and then you can turn additional things on or off based on just clicking on them under the window drop down. And once you click on them, those things will show up. Looks like they're showing up just floating around. So you just grab them and you drag them over on top of everything else until it turns blue, and then they become a part of that, right? Now, by the way, if after you've added something here, you want to get rid of it, you can click on the 3 lines. It's called the hamburger menu to the right. And then it'll give you some different options like, you know, close window or whatever. In my case, you can also click on the tab and just drag it completely off and then just click on the X, right? And that will get rid of it. Now, me personally, I'm used to the old way of working on Illustrator, so that's probably why I had this layout view here when we started. And if you like that, please feel free to use it. I'm also going to focus pretty much on this Essentials view, because the Essentials view has a lot of things built right into it that will be helpful to you. And you guys are free to pick either one of those and customize it any way you want. Okay, so Carolina, did that answer your question? I don't, let me see, let me go down to where you.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like I said, I tell you what, I think I'm gonna go back and use my favorite, which is the layout view. Because I just really like having all those little options right there. Okay. All right, so we were talking about what's here on the PDF. The first thing here is to learn units of measurement, points, pica, inches, right? Now, what's important is to know that when you're working with Illustrator, there are these preferences that are set that will set the increments for you, and you can make changes to them. So the first thing I want you to do is on a Macintosh, I want you to hold down your Command key and hit the letter R. And on a Windows machine, I believe you'd hold down the window, what's the window equivalent of the Command key? Is it the window key?
I think it's control.
Control?
Yeah, it's control.
Okay, hit Control R. And what you should see is rulers pop up at the top and the left side of your document. You guys seen that?
Yes.
Now, are those rulers in inches? Does it look like 8.5 by 11?
Mine aren't.
Mine are.
Okay.
Yes.
It could be because of the settings. So if you left it as point, then it'll show up as whatever point is.
Right. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, most of us are going to use the inches if we're, sort of raised with the inches system in America. But if you want to use something different, like the Europeans probably use, centimeters, and you might, if you're in the newspaper industry or magazine industry, you might use points and picas. Now, let me show you how to make changes to the ruler units, right? What you do is go up here at the top of your menu and click on the words Illustrator CC and come down and scroll over, roll over where it says Preferences.
Oh, oops, what did I just do?
I don't have Illustrator CC.
Hold on.
Yeah, that doesn't come up on Windows.
Oh.
Me neither.
I'm sorry. On Windows, you're looking for Preferences. It might be under Edit or under File.
It's under Edit at the
It's
bottom.
under Edit.
Okay, under Edit on the Windows machine, go to Preferences and then come to click on Units.
And that's where you can change it.
Yeah, and this is where you can change the units of measurement for 3 different things. General is the ruler. So if it says, points and picas or whatever, if it says points, it's going to be points. You can change it to inches, millimeters, pixels, whatever. Stroke is going to be when you add a line around an object, and that's generally going to be points, and type is generally going to be points as well. So your default is probably inches, points, and points. If you see something else in here, you can change it to that. Notice that you have other preferences here. You've got general preferences. You've got type preferences. You have for your guides, your guidelines, you can change the color of those. You have a hyphenation preferences here. You've got what are called scratch disks, which is, where you want the memory to be taken from.
What's it called?
What's that?
What was it called?
So
Scratch something?
plugins and scratch disks.
I don't see that on my. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So what that is some of these programs use a lot of memory, and sometimes what you can do, like let's say you have a computer that's really full up, but you've got a portable hard drive attached to it, and that hard drive is brand new and it's got a lot of space on it. So what you can do is you can set your that external drive as your primary scratch disk, and what that means is all of the big memory needs that the program needs while it's working will be generated by that external drive, which means things will move faster, right? Because if your computer is very full, it's not going to have much room to use as a scratch disk. A scratch disk is where you put extra stuff while you're working the program, right? So you can set the scratch disks here, a primary and a secondary one. Now, all of this stuff, most of you won't even need to go in here and change anything. The defaults are set up to optimize your work. But if you do need to change anything, these are all the options in here available to you. Okay, let me go ahead and click OK on that. So that's how we can change our units of measurement. We talked about the general interface, the way that it's set out. Okay, so the next thing is they want us to learn how to use the rectangle, ellipse, polygon, and star tools. Okay, so we're going to go over here to our toolbox on the left-hand side, and we're going to come down to the little rectangle tool here, and we're going to click on that, and then anywhere on our document, we're going to come and we're going to click and hold our mouse down, and we're going to drag out a rectangle. Now, the default is a black stroke with a white fill. And if you look at the bottom of the toolbox, you'll see two little squares. One of them is filled with white, and it's completely solid. And the other one is just an outline, like the outside of a square, and it's black. And so the white one is the fill color, and the black one is what's called a stroke color. A stroke, of course, is a line around an object, right? Now, if you wanted to change these colors, one way to quickly change them is on top of the two little squares down here, there's a little arrow that has, it's like a circular arrow with two arrowheads on it. If you click on that, it flips them back and forth. So now it's a black fill with a white stroke, right? And then you can click on it again to go back. All right. Now, in addition to that, the tool that you're on right now is the shape tool, right? And we made a rectangular shape. If you want to change either color, the fill or the stroke, all you have to do is double click on that color, and you'll bring up a color picker. So if I go down here to the white and I double click on it, it brings up the generic color picker that's in all the Adobe products. Now what you can do with this is in the center, there's this tall like skyscraper, and you can grab the arrows that are on either side of that and move them up and down. And that will allow you to get into a range of color. So like if I wanted to be in the blue range, I could be down here. If I wanted to be in the white range, I could be here. Now, once you set the range of color that you want, then you take your mouse and you come click over here in this big box, and this gives you the specific color that you want. So like, let's say I was trying to get a yellow, right? So what happens is first I move this thing up until I see a yellow over here, and then I go click on my yellow. And now we have a yellow color scheme. Now, whatever color is right here is the color that you're changing the thing to, right? So if I wanted my rectangle to be filled with a yellow color, you know, I would move this until I got somewhere, and then move around in here, and maybe move this back again until I could get right to the yellow I want. And then I would hit the OK button. And what it does is it changes the rectangle to be that color. Now, if I want to change the stroke color, which is the color around it, I have to double click on that other box down here, the one that has the black in it. Double clicking on that will give me this little picker here. Hold on a second. Okay, double clicking on that loads up the color picker, and so now I can change the color of that. So let's say I wanted to have a blue stroke. So I'll click on that, and then I'm going to make my stroke really thick. Up here at the very top, remember I said there were these icons. There's one that says stroke, and then it's got an up and down arrow and a number next to it. And if you just go ahead and change that number, the drop-down menu, to a big number like 14, you're going to see the stroke is going to be very visible, right? And you can use the arrowheads over here to make that number, that stroke.
Can you help me with something? Just hate to interrupt you.
Sure.
So my rectangles are messed up. I have a big rectangle that went off the page and a little rectangle in the middle. I just wish I could clear it and make a new rectangle. Can you?
Okay. Are you on a Mac or a PC?
PC. PC.
Okay. So what you want to do is,
start a new one.
If you do, try Control A and see if that selects everything on your screen.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Got it. I'm back. Okay. Thank you.
Right. And by the way, you guys, if you have a question, please go ahead and ask. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's go ahead and make some different shapes. And every time you make a shape, I want you to try experimenting with like either a different color or a different thickness on the stroke, or just something a little different, right? The way to get to the other shapes is to click and hold on the rectangle tool. And it will pop up a pop-up menu that has all the other shapes. So the next one we've got is the rounded rectangle. So you can, you don't have to wait until you create the shape to change the color. You do have to deselect the other shape first. And what that means is clicking on the black arrow at the top of your screen and clicking in the gray area to deselect the shape. See, if I still have my rectangle tool here selected and I make a change to the color, it's going to change that, right? But if I click my arrow tool and click in the gray area outside the page, it deselects it. So now when I go make my new shape, which will be a rounded rectangle, the changes that I make to that color will adhere to that.
I don't have rounded rectangle. I have rectangle, ellipse, polygon, and star in line.
Okay. Rounded rectangle, maybe. Do you have the latest version? When did you download Illustrator?
Yesterday.
Oh, yes. Okay, there's a brand new update that like just came out in June, and I don't have that. I have the one previous to that, so they may have moved that.
Okay.
Okay. You can try the ellipse tool if you like. That's fine. Just go ahead and try all those shapes. Make one of everything. Now, while you're doing that, I want to point out something, which is there are certain shapes that when you use them, if you hold the shift key down while you use them, it will make what we call a perfect version of the shape. So, for example, there's something called the ellipse tool, which makes an oval. But if you hold the shift key down when you're drawing it, it makes a circle. Okay, perfect version of the shape. There's a rectangle tool which will make a rectangle, but if you hold the shift key down while you're doing it, it makes a square. Okay, and so on and so forth. So all of these shapes will be perfect versions of the shape if you hold the shift key down. Now, there's something special about the polygon and the star tools that you can only access by making them in a certain way. Now, what we've been doing is we've been clicking on a shape tool here and, picking a color or whatever, and we've been just dragging the shape out. Now, there's a second way that you can make shapes. You can make a shape by clicking on a shape tool. Like, for example, go ahead and click on the polygon tool, if you would. And then instead of clicking and dragging out a shape, just click once anywhere on your screen and don't drag out. Now, if you do that, it's going to bring up this little window here, which will allow you to type in the different aspects of the polygon. So in other words, you can type in how wide you want your polygon to be, like 1 inch, And a polygon is a multi-sided object, so you can say how many sides you want it to have. So I want mine to be an octagon, right? So 8 sides, 1 inch, okay, and boom, we have a stop sign, right? By the way, do you guys know why the stop sign is shaped like that? Little trivia, very little. I just
It's a mirror. It's a mirror of itself. What?
Well, actually, that is part of it. What it is it's a very easily recognized shape. And in
Yeah.
fact, it's a shape that, like you said, it's a shape that can be recognized from behind or in front of, right? So the reason that they made stop signs octagons are because if you're at an intersection and you see the back of a stop sign, you know it's a stop sign because of the shape. Now, if it were a circle, you wouldn't know what kind of sign it was because it would have different information on it. The fact that it's an octagon means it's a stop sign, right? And I think that's just true in America. I haven't been to Europe, but I think they have different signs over there.
What context is there to see a stop sign from behind?
Well, when you go to an intersection, let's say that there's an intersection where there are stop signs at all four corners. When you stop at your corner, if you look over to the left, you can't see the front of the stop sign. You see the back of the stop sign.
They're the same in Europe.
I mean, all right, I guess.
They just have foreign words on them. They're the same shape in Europe.
Yeah, so you're seeing the back of the stop sign, but you know it's a stop sign. In other words, you know that dude has a stop sign too, so he's not just going to come barreling through the intersection, right? Okay, now one other thing, the star tool works in the same way as the polygon tool, in that if you click on it, go ahead and choose the stars tool real quick. If you go ahead and just click once while you have the star tool selected, it will allow you to mathematically dictate what the star tool is going to look like. Now, what's nice about it is it has different numbers for what's called the radius 1 and radius 2, which is the inner and the outer radius, right? And that means how far the points are, and then how far the sort of inner points are for the star. So, for example, I'll go ahead and make an 12-pointed star, and I'll make my first radius 2 inches, and my second radius 0.25. Now, when we hit OK and we make the star, you can see, first of all, let me delete some of this other junk that's here. First of all, you see there's the 12 points, but then you see that the two radii are different. You can see that the 2 inches is the outer radius and the 1/4 of an inch is the inner radius. And so that's how you can make different shapes. Now, what's cool about this is you can make these big kind of lucky wishbone type of stars here that were popular in like the 1950s. Or you can even make things that look like badges, right? I know you don't need any stinking badges, but let me show you what I mean. So a badge would be something that's very circular that has just some little points coming out of it. So what we want to do is put in a bunch of points, like 60 points, right? And then we want the first radius to be really big, like 2 inches, but we want the second radius to be really close to that, like 1.75, right? Let's see what we get. You see what I mean? Does anybody else want a Reese's Pieces? I know I do. Okay. So
move the shape. I'm trying to drag my shapes out of the way, and I can't seem to do it. What am I doing wrong?
You're trying to drag them out of the way?
Well, like I placed a couple stars. I'd like to drag them around the page.
You can press V, and that will take you to the tool, so you can move them around.
Yeah, V is the selection tool. It lets you click and
you
drag.
have to do cut?
Drag those circles around.
Which selection tool?
Just the V button, which is the
V.
quick move.
Oh, thanks. Gosh, thank you. I'm back.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Okay, now, if you guys have drawn some shapes you like, you can click on them and drag them off into the gray area, and you can keep them. If you want to get rid of everything, you can do Control A or Command A. It'll select all, and you can hit delete, right? Okay. All right, so we learned how to use the rectangle, ellipse, polygon, and star tools. Okay, I want to check in with you guys. I like to check in with you every now and then to see how you're doing. Are you guys okay? Do you want to keep going? Do you need a little break? How we doing?
I mean, I'm doing good.
Okay, well, if Kim's good, we're all good.
Same. I'm doing good
Kim's
too.
good. We're all good. Yeah.
Kim will be the official class thermometer. Okay, let's keep going for a little while. What I'd like to do is get through this little list and then give you guys some time to work on the assignment.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
So
not that hard.
we're close to halfway through this list. So the next is learn how to render shapes and strokes in color. Well, we've been doing that. We've been making the shapes and we've been changing the colors. So I'm going to consider that learned. Now, the next one is learn how to rotate objects. So I would like you to make a shape. It doesn't matter which one. Make sure that you have a shape on your screen here. I'm going to get a shape that has a rectangular shape because it'll be easy for me to demonstrate this to you. Okay, now shapes have what's called a bounding box around them. And the bounding box is that, the bounding box is that area surrounding the shape which has the little white handles on it, right? Now, if you take your mouse and you bring it close to one of these white handles, it will turn into a rounded double-headed arrow. And if you click at that point and hold your mouse down and then go in a circular motion, this is how you rotate a shape. You can rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise, right? So you literally just come to one of the corners, click when you see that rounded arrow, and you can turn things around, right? Now, you might want to turn things around a specific amount, like a specific amount of degrees, and you'll see that a little tooltip comes up that shows you how many degrees you're changing that, right? However, you also might want to rotate things so that they move a very specific amount of degrees, right? And one way to do that is to hold your shift button down. So for example, if I just bring my mouse up here and start rotating, it's like free-form rotation, right? But if I bring my mouse right close to it and I hold my shift key down and I start rotating, it will rotate in 45-degree increments, okay? So first 45 and the second one will be 90. All right, and make sure you let go of your mouse before you let go of the shift key if you want it to stay in whatever position you put it in, okay? I use this stuff all day long. You know, if I have a box like this and I want it to be straight up and down, I just hold my shift key down and basically drag it 2 steps to the left, and I've got a 90-degree box, right? Now, if you instead want to rotate it a very specific amount of degrees, but you don't want to do it manually, you can put it in numerically, right? And let me show you how you would do that. Over on the left-hand side of your screen, locate where the shape tool is, and then come down about 1, 2, 3, 4 below that. Do you see a little circle with an arrow at the end of it? Are you guys seeing that?
Shape builder tool. It's 5 below the square now.
No, not the shape builder tool. You want the rotate tool.
Oh, 3 below.
Yeah, are you guys seeing that?
Yep.
If you click on the rotate tool and then come out on your screen, what you're going to see is this little cross. It's called crosshairs, right? Now, the rotate tool is what I like to call a 2-part tool. It means you have to do 2 things. The first thing you have to do is you have to click to define a rotation point. And then the second is to actually click with your mouse and rotate around that rotation point. So the first thing I'd like you to do is take this little crosshairs and click it in the center. Click it in the center of your shape, and then move it out to the edge and click and hold down and move around. So that's
I tried to move my star earlier, and now I know why it didn't move.
Why it didn't move correctly?
Yes, but now I'm being amused by just spinning the star around the 1 point far away from it. So
Isn't it?
don't mind me. I'm checking out for the rest of the class.
Okay, so
Isn't it called a pivot point?
Again.
right, a pivot point is another name for it. Thank you. I call it a rotation point, but pivot point is definitely an accurate description. Now, if you want to do something like Kim's doing, click on your rotation tool and put your rotation point way off in the white, and then click and start dragging your box around, and it's going to rotate around that pivot point, right? So this is nice.
Wait. I didn't understand that. Could you do that again?
Sure. Go back here. Okay. Okay. Click on your rotation tool.
Mm-hmm.
And then click anywhere in the white.
Got it.
Now take your mouse and click and hold and start moving, and it rotates the shape around.
Oh, I think, is that what Kim was doing? Because it's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
It's fun.
this is what
Hey.
this is what Kim's mom did when she needed to keep her occupied. She just had
See, you think that's a joke, but you're
Digital-
not wrong.
Digital fidget spinner. Oh my
Right.
God.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's rotating objects. Now, the next thing we need to learn about is how to order objects so that they're in front of or behind each other. So what I need you guys to do is create two objects on your screen that are different colors or different shapes. So like I've got a blue rectangle, so now I'm going to go create like a yellow ellipse or something, right? So I'm going to click on my ellipse tool. I'm going to change my color.
Oh, what? No, don't change the color of my star. I forgot I had it selected still.
Okay, I'm going to change the color to yellow. Okay. So now I have two shapes. One is the yellow ellipse, one is the blue rectangle. You can have whatever shapes you want, whatever color. Grab one shape and drag it in front of the other. Now there is an order to all objects that you create.
When you grabbed it, you didn't have to push a V, or you did?
You either push the V or you manually click on the arrow at the top of the toolbox. It's called the selection arrow. And that's how you select shapes or select anything really. So that's
oh, it doesn't do that for mine. I'm sorry. That's really messing me up. I really apologize, but I
also forgot that you can do it by holding Shift and Control and then hitting brackets.
okay. Thank you. Okay, so however you need to do it, get it so that one shape is in front of the other. Now, of course, when you have multiple shapes on a screen, including text boxes and images and graphic shapes like this, you're going to want to change the order of them. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take this, whatever shape is in front, go ahead and click on it so it's selected. And you know it's selected because it gets the blue bounding box around it. That's what this thing is called, right?
I can't select. That's what I'm trying to tell you now. I totally went. I don't even know where I went, but for some reason when I select it, it doesn't. I'm not getting. I can't just pick the object. I don't know why.
Have you clicked on the arrow at the top of your?
I have two arrows at the top. I have one that's empty on the inside and one that's full.
You want
this one says direct and this one says selection. Oh, well, that's why, because I picked the wrong arrow. There's two arrows at the top. Sorry.
Right. It's the very top arrow. And by the way, one of them selects the entire shape and the other one selects a part of a shape.
That's what I was doing. Okay, sorry. It was messing me up. Thank you.
Not a problem. Okay, now take one of your shapes and put it in front of the other and make sure that that is selected. Now come up here to the very top and click on, find the word object and do object arrange and then do send to back. And what it will do is it will take the object that's in the front and put it in the back. Okay, now the opposite is true. You can take an object that's at the back and bring it to the front. With that object still selected, go back to the object drop down and do arrange and do bring to front. And now it's brought that object to the front. Okay, and so, with multiple objects, you can send them back. You'll notice that there's several options here, send to back and send to front. And when it's send forward and send backwards, and when you have multiple objects, send forward will move it forward one, send backwards will move it back one. I almost never use those. I'm always using send to back or send to front, right? Notice that there's also quick key commands. So, and those are listed to the right of whatever the command is that you're choosing. So it shows you the combination of keys that you can use to bring that to the front or the back. Okay, now we just have 3 more things we need to learn, and then, and one of them you already know. So we're going to do select, copy, paste, and delete. And then 2 more things, and then you guys will get to do your first assignment. So select, of course, is with the black selection arrow or the letter V, and then clicking on an object, right? Copy is the same as any program that you use. Command C or Control C will copy an object. Command V or Control V will paste it. Or you can simply go up here to the Edit drop-down menu and do copy and then paste. Another option, of course, you have is Command X or Control X, which is cut. That will cut your object off and put it on the paste board, where you can then paste it back into the document. So if I do cut here, it's in the clipboard or the paste board area, and whenever I'm ready, I can do Command V and it will paste it back up there. Of course, deleting an object is just clicking on it and hitting your delete key. And that's the select, copy, paste, and delete. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I stacked 3 things on top of myself just while I was playing, and I could copy the 3 things, you know, and paste. So I have identical weird 3 things.
Right.
But could I select them and move them as a group?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you do it?
Just watch me, okay? So here's 2 objects, right? What you have to do is you can draw what's called a marquee around your shapes. So you click in the upper left-hand corner and you draw a box, which is referred to as a marquee, around the 2 shapes. Now, click anywhere inside the 2 shapes and hold your mouse down, and then move your mouse, and it will move all the shapes.
Yeah, well, that was weird. It took 5 out of 6. And the one it didn't take was in the middle of one, so I can't explain that. But they're very close together, almost overlapping, so it was kind of hard to just use that tool, to separate them. I placed them very close.
You can also do Control A to select them all and then move them.
Oh, well, maybe so. I'm going to do the undo. Control A, select all, and move the whole. Yeah, I wanted to do, let's say if there's a group of 3 and a group of 3, but they're super close, to get and it's got star points, so it's impossible to get the marquee kind of between them.
Right. So you want to know how to solve that? Let me show you.
Don't put them so close together.
Yeah. First of all, change completely the way you do things. Okay. All right. So let's say you have a setup like this where you've got 3 shapes, right? Now, what you can do is you can do what's called shift selecting things, right? And what that means is you click on one thing and then you'll hold your shift key down and you click on the other thing that you want, right? Now, let's say for the sake of argument, my shapes were like this.
That's what mine look like, kind of.
Okay, and what I wanted was I wanted the yellow ellipse and the blue rectangle, but I didn't want the blue and yellow star thing, right? Now, I'm in a quandary because if I try to draw a marquee, I get everything, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's a couple ways you can solve that problem using the shift select. Click on one thing, like the yellow guy, hold it on your shift key, and then click on the other thing you want, which would be the blue rectangle. Now just those 2 are selected. That work?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It separated them at least. Yeah. Oopsie.
So
yeah, cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna jump down here to the very last thing, and then we're gonna do the second to last thing. The very last thing are the save commands and the undo. Of course, Command S on a Macintosh or Control S on a PC will save as well as file save. And then, of course, Command Z is the undo button on a Mac and Control Z on a PC. Okay.
What is undo? Control Z?
Undo is Control Z on a PC.
And the other one was what?
The other one is Control S, which is save.
Oh, sorry. Okay, got it.
Okay, the last thing I'm going to teach you, and then you're going to do your assignment, is a simple text demonstration. Go ahead and click on your type tool, which is the letter T over here in your text box, or I'm sorry, in your toolbox. This letter T here, okay? It's going to give you a cursor. You can click anywhere on your page and it will make a cursor with some, what we call lorem ipsum text, which is just junk text. And then you can just start typing, right? So that's how you can put type anywhere you want. You just click on the text tool, click anywhere, and start typing. Now, more often than not, what people do is they create an actual text box. And you create a text box by clicking on your type tool, coming onto your screen, and clicking and holding your mouse and dragging out a box. What it does is it fills that box with the lorem ipsum text, which is the Greek, what we call Greek text. And then you can go ahead and start typing and replace that with, you know, whatever you want. So I'm going to replace mine with, hello, I must be going. Okay. Okay, so give that a shot. Click on your.
How can I change the font? Sorry, my font is so tiny that.
Okay, so what you can do is, if you look at the very top of your screen, you should see some little widgets that show you the font that was selected and the font size. Like mine is default Myriad Pro 12 point, right? If you
Okay,
want,
yeah, it was a little blanked out because I had my screen split, my window split, and so you don't see maybe everything. So now I can see it. Okay.
Okay,
It was off screen basically.
Once you have your text highlighted, you can go up here and you can change the font size from this drop-down menu. You can change the font itself, and you can even change the style of the font, whether it is bold or italic or whatever. Now, another thing that you can do, this is my favorite over here. On the right-hand side, there, if you're in the layout view, there's something called character. And this is my favorite little panel here for text. In character, you can show your font right here at the top. You can show the type of font, the special effect, you know, that you're doing with it. Like if I choose Arial, right underneath that I have italic and bold italic. Under there you have your font size. You have your leading, which is the amount of space between lines. You have this one here, which is called the tracking, which is how much space is between letters, right, words.
You know, I don't, it's almost impossible for me to see what you're doing on mine.
And why?
Where do you see the, like if I go to character, my box is so squished up because I'm trying to see what you're doing at the same time that I don't have the full menu. And if I go over to try to look at the full menu, then I can't see where you're pointing. And sorry about that, but what were you, could you repeat what you said maybe? Because
yeah, I'm happy to. Why don't you look at your screen and I'll try to talk you through it. So if you open character, at the very top is the name of the font, right?
Oh, geez. Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Right, and then under that is bold.
Yep.
So we have font size, we have leading, which is the space between the lines.
Greg?
We have tracking, which is how much room is between them. And then underneath that, we have distortion. This is what's called vertical distortion, and that will move your, make your objects distort vertically past 100%. And then we have a horizontal distortion to the right.
I lost you because I I cannot
Greg,
see.
I have character styles, but I don't see character on my right hand.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that because let me show you how to bring a missing palette up. Click on your window, drop down at the top, and then come down here until you see the word type. And then come over to the right and click on the word character.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Okay. And that's true of any palette that you're missing. You could just go click on it in that window and it will come up.
Okay, so can I just, I see rotation. Where's the distortion?
It's right above rotation. That one that says 100% and it's got the T with the arrows going horizontally underneath it.
I don't have that.
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't see your screen. So,
okay, hold on. Let me go back and see your screen again. Let me make you bigger. Is which one?
okay, so this one is the horizontal distortion. Watch what it does.
Well, yeah, I like distortion. I do not have that.
Oh, okay.
Showing.
Let me see. Okay, this is why.
It might be there, but I don't recognize it. Yeah.
No, you have to, well, you have to open your options. So watch my screen here. So in the character palette, you have a little hamburger menu, which is 3 lines in the top right. Click on that and click show options. Show options.
Okay, hold on. Ooh. Well, it says there are because it says hide options.
Oh, okay.
So they must be showing.
Well,
Okay.
like I said, you have a brand new version of this, which is, mine is a month old, but yours is like yesterday. So
Yeah.
they may have moved it.
Okay.
Okay, and basically you can change the color of text just like you would the color of a shape. You can come down here and you can double click on this fill color and change it to whatever color you want, but you also can go up here to the top left corner and you have a fill
wait,
color.
have I returned? I've returned.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. My computer can't handle blending and paying attention.
Sorry about that.
Nah, you're good.
Okay, so you also have in the top left corner a fill box and a stroke box for your text. So you can click on the fill box and fill it with a color. And you can click on the stroke box here, which is this other one, and you can actually stroke it with a different color. This may be hard for you guys to see. I'm trying to find a color that will make it clear. And then the number next to that is how thick your stroke is. So this is a pink text with a green stroke that's like 2 points, just so you can see it. Okay, so now, admittedly, that was a very quick summary of text, and we'll talk more about text. At the bottom of your character box, there's also some special effects buttons here, which can do things like all caps or what's called small caps. And you can also do underlines and strike throughs, as well as subscript and superscript, which is, putting a little number at the top or the bottom. But that basic overview should get you started to where you could do this first assignment. Now, the first assignment is, if you look at your PDF, which is what we downloaded, or what you should download from the website, what you're going to be doing is making this thing called the controller unit. It's like a remote control. And basically, you're going to be making all these different shapes. You're going to be making some text. And, you don't have to use exactly that font. You can use whatever you want. But, you'll be able to make all these shapes. The only one that's a little tricky is the triangle. And let me just show you how to make the triangle, and then we'll launch you guys on your first assignment, right? So go ahead and click on your selection tool and click anywhere in the gray area or the white area to deselect everything. Then go ahead and click on your shape tool and choose the rectangle. All right. If you want, you can go back to the default black and white And you can do that if you come down here to the colors. There's a little, there's the colors, the shape, and the fill and the stroke. And to the top of those, there's a little tiny squares that have the black and white icons. And if you click on those, it resets it to black and white, right? Now, what I want you to do is hold your shift key down and drag out a square. Okay, now it's going to be a square with whatever colors you have in there, right? Now, in order to make this a triangle, all we have to do is remove one of these points, right? Now, to remove a point, because, you know, if you look at this thing, it basically has your square. If you click on the white arrow tool, the second tool from the top, while you have the square selected, you'll see that your square is made up of 4 points and then 4 paths, which are the lines between the points, right? Which means if we got rid of one of these points, it would be a triangle because it would drop down. You know, if I click on this point right here and just kind of drag it in here like this, it's going to make a triangle, right? Which means if I deleted that point, it would make a triangle, okay? So what you can do is click on the white arrow, you know, click anywhere in the white or the gray area to deselect everything, and then simply click one of the 4 corner points of the square, right? Now, if I hit delete there, it's problematic because it gets rid of the whole, everything that was close to that, right? So we can't do it that way, right? However, there's a special tool we can use to remove a point, and that's called a pen tool. A question?
Yeah, this is me again, sorry. I have a square and I am trying to get where I could grab a point, and it's either got.
Let me show you, because we're moving on. I'll show you this tool. This will make it easy, okay? Go to the pen tool, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the top, and click and hold on it.
Third one in mine, but okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Then come over to the pop-up menu and click on the pen tool that says Delete Anchor Point Tool. It's the pen tool with the minus sign. Now,
I don't know. I tapped it with my pen and it turned into a triangle. I didn't even do anything.
Right. All you have to do is click on one of the corner points with that minus pen tool, and it removes that point, and now you have a triangle. Now, of course, you can rotate that triangle. You can hold down the shift key while you're rotating it, and it will rotate to an exact 90 degrees. And so now you have a triangle which kind of looks like the one on the controller unit. You can then fill it with a color, you know, to make it kind of look like that controller unit, right?
You use the control? No, you.
No, I'm not saying the word. I
was having trouble rotating. I'm fine. All right.
Yeah, when you rotate things, you just use the shift key while you're rotating, and it will move it in 45-degree increments. Okay?
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna, does anybody have any questions before you start on this assignment? Okay, so what I want you guys to do is go ahead and in this Illustrator document here, you can delete everything that's here. Go ahead and build something that looks like this controller unit. Now, it doesn't have to look identical to it, but just do the best you can. And then when you're done, go ahead and save that into your Google Drive folder that you made. You can call it Exercise 1. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some time to do that, and I'll be right here if you have any questions. And if you're one of those speedy people who like whipped it out while we were talking, more power to you. Go ahead and play around in Illustrator and do some fun things while we're working on this. Okay.
We play with the colors, or we should do the colors that are in that thingy.
You can do whatever colors you want. You can add your own signature to this. Make it whatever rainbow colors you want.
Okay. Cool. When I try to anchor, like when I draw my rectangle, it doesn't, I can't just like click off the screen and make it stop being highlighted. It just seems to want to stay highlighted. Selected, I don't get it.
Here, watch this. Draw a rectangle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now hit your V key is in victory.
Mm-hmm.
And now click anywhere else on the screen and it should be deselected.
Yeah. You can't just do it. You have to hit a V key, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason is because after you've drawn the rectangle tool, you're still on the rectangle tool. And so in order to do anything else, the selection tool is kind of like home base. You always go back there and then you can click somewhere else to stop the last thing you were doing from happening.
Well, that V is sort of interesting. I'm just not used to having to hit that first, but we don't have necessarily the rounded rectangle that's on that controller unit.
Well, you don't because you downloaded the latest version of the program. But I will tell you a trick on how to round your rectangle corners. Okay, draw a regular rectangle.
Okay.
Now, you see these little, do you have little dots inside of the corners?
Hold on one sec because I'm changing the color so I can have differentiated ones. See dots? Yes, I do.
Okay, click on one of those dots and drag it towards the center. And then let go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Greg, just checking. Where's the button to adjust the shapes?
Okay, the shape button is over here in the toolbox.
Right. I meant like, to like, adjust like, either sizes or stuff involving the rectangles are like rounded off at the corners or whatever.
Right. So the shape tool will let you make, half a dozen set shapes, right? And it's only after you make the shapes that you can make changes to them. So for example, if you make a rectangle and you click on the dot inside the corner of the rectangle and you drag it towards the center, it will round the rectangular corners.
Huh.
Or if you draw a square and you grab one of the handles, one of the corners, and you drag it in towards the center, it will scale the square down.
Right. So the only way to size it correctly is to just be lucky and precise.
No. Create it first and then size it.
And where is that button?
Well, it's not really a button. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I.
So, okay, see how there's this little pink square here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's say my goal was to make a blue square that was a similar size. Okay? So what I would do first, I would click on my my selection tool, either by clicking on it or by hitting the letter V as in victory, right? I would click anywhere else on the screen to deselect. Then I would click on my rectangle tool. Then I would come down here and change my color to like a blue color. And now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start. I'm going to take my mouse and put it like at a little to the right of the existing square, but right at the top of that square. I'm going to hold my shift key down and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag out a square. Now this square may not be the exact perfect same size as that. In fact, let's say it's not, right? But once it's drawn, I can grab the corner of it, hold my shift key down and drag it in towards the center until I size it, until I get it the right size, right?
Right.
So what additional questions do you have about that?
I don't know. I was just trying to make it so that the remote was accurately sized.
Okay. Well, you don't have to make it. This exercise is not about making something that looks identical to that. It's about making something that has a similar look and really just practicing the shapes and the text.
Oh, cool. Because, yeah, to get because I have two windows open, and so it's a little squishy, my rectangle, and maybe my
yeah,
circles will be a little small, but if that's okay.
Yeah, you're not going to lose any points if it doesn't look identical to this rectangle or to this controller unit.
Oh, okay.
Just do your best. I mean, for a number of you, this is the first time you use the program, so
Yeah, hello.
yeah. I always think that this one looks like an egg. It looks like the thing next to the two looks like a sunny side up egg to me. But
it does. Yeah.
Does it look like that? Yeah, and I don't know. Here's the other thing. I don't know what year this controller is from, but it looks like 1972 to me.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead and take a few minutes, work on that.
Okay. Whoa.
Hey, Greg, are we going to learn about aligning things like perfectly center in this class? Should I worry about that right now or kind of sit tight till we get there?
Well, I can show you how to do it right now if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so do you have a couple of shapes that you can select?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and either shift click on both of those or draw a marquee around both of them. Make sure they're not lined up in the center, right?
Okay.
Now, over here on the right-hand side, do you have, can you find this little button called Align?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, click on that.
Which button is it?
It's called Align.
What color?
Now, by the way, you have to be in the workshop. You have to be in the layout view. So that's
yeah.
okay. All right. Have you, Robin? Have you got the Align showing?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So now, do you see all these little icons in the Align window?
Yes.
Each one of these icons represents a different type of alignment. So, for example, if you wanted them over on the left-hand side, it's aligning things horizontally. So in other words, if you want everything to line up to the left, you click on this very far left button and it lines everything up to the left edge, right? If you want everything to line up to the right, you click the third button from the left and everything will line up on the right edge. And then if you want it to center, you click the second button from the left and everything lines up to the center. Now that's what I call horizontal alignment because it's moving like this, right? If you want to do vertical alignment, that's the second set of 3 buttons on the right, right? And so for vertical alignment, that would be like lining things up at the top, right? Like if I take these two and do this and select them. Now if I click on the first button in the set of 3 to the left, it lines those up to the top like that, right? The very last button lines them up to the bottom, and the center button lines them up in the middle vertically, right? Now, by the way, if you hold your mouse over any one of these buttons for just a brief period of time, it brings up what's called a tooltip, and that tells you the name of the button, which pretty much, gives away what it does. Now, some of these other things like distribute spacing and stuff, we'll talk about that in the future, but these will help with the alignment of your shapes. Does that work?
Yeah, thank you.
Is there a way? I'm trying to change my font color.
You're welcome.
Do we have to use the same font you used? We
No.
just have to make the 1 and the 2 have to be the same as the other guy, right?
Yeah, you don't have to use the same font. I don't even know what.
Okay. Yeah, me either. I was trying to change my font color, but
okay, let me show you how to do that. So, you can do it just by having your text selected and double clicking on the color chip down here.
Where's the color chip?
So here,
wait. I missed you because I was looking at something.
Okay.
Which color chip?
This one right here.
Oh, that. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, I did that. Okay. I found it. I'm falling, sorry.
That's okay.
Hmm. Brutal. Oh my goodness, character now.
So when you use the align tool, is that only work when you're like selecting everything, or
well the align?
Like say if I wanted to align one of the like the circle and then one of the shapes, like for one of the buttons or something, would that? Because I'm trying that, but it's not doing anything.
Well, you have to have all the shapes selected that you want to align. Like for example,
right.
All right, let's say that I had a rounded rectangle here, and then that I had a circle right next to it, right? Okay, now let's say that what I wanted to do was I wanted to line them up so that this one was lined up with that one in the center, right? So what I would do is I would draw a marquee around both of them, and then I would come over here and I would click on this vertical alignment, and that would align them like that. Is that Cooper or somebody
That
else?
is Cooper.
Hi, Cooper.
He's trying to eat someone this time. Probably the invisible man.
He's really cute. I saw him earlier.
He's super cute. He just likes to bark at everyone for some reason.
Did that work, the alignment thing that you were asking about?
Yeah, I was.
What's
Yeah, it worked.
BC color?
Okay.
Besides blue, black, and purple. What
Whoa,
other
whoa,
colors
whoa.
can stars be? Ooh. Working up a gold
Okay.
color might be hard. We'll find out. I say as I almost get it right on point. There we go.
Okay. Jeez, you guys, this is so much stress.
What is the next button? I'm just like trying to figure out which ones we're doing.
Like what each button does?
Not what each button does, but just what buttons are what.
Well, if this were that's a good question. I mean, usually the green button is play and the red button would be stop. I guess the red button is record.
Whoa.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like this doesn't look like a remote control. You know what this actually looks like? It looks like an audio controller. Like if you were like a remote control for a tape deck.
It does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or like
For,
my
something
car
like
radio for some
recording.
reason has a remote control, and it's kind of looking like that too. Dude, I don't let my siblings touch it. They don't know it yet, because if they did, I wouldn't have control over my music anymore in my own car.
That would be wrong. Is it a newer car or an older car?
So the radio itself is new, but the car is like 1994, 96 Toyota Camry.
Wow. Okay.
Does the controller have to have the same measurements that it has in the document?
Dang it. You guys.
Well,
Preferably.
yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I'm not going to take points off if you don't have exactly the same measurements, but just make sure that you know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Like to press down and get exacts.
Yeah, like it says, using the rectangle tool, make a rectangle that is 6.5 by 2.5. So the way you would do that, you would click on the rectangle tool, and then instead of drawing the rectangle out, what you would do is you would just click once on the screen. And then that gives you the ability to type in what size you want it to be. So I don't have any problem with you guys making this, just visually making it look like this, but you could, if you know how to use this function here, that's the whole exercise, is to let you use that function.
Oh, I thought we were running out of time. I'm over here like hyperventilating.
You're totally running out of time.
Hey, Greg.
Right?
I'm
But
trying.
I'm on the beach, so it's okay.
Question?
Yeah, I'm trying to shrink something and I'm holding down shift so that it keeps its shape. And I know there's a way to shrink it while keeping it centered too. And I think it's shift alt on a PC. Do you know what that is on a Mac?
It's option.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, how do I make a 1? I say staring directly at the text tool.
You mean the number 1?
So like I'm trying to figure out how I was gonna like build all the curves and stuff with the tools. I just completely forgot that there's such thing as a text tool.
Oh, I see. You were going to actually build the 1.
Yep.
Extra credit.
Yeah.
If it's actually gonna be extra credit, I will.
Do it.
Okay.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
So I finished it, but I forgot about the measurements. So
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to.
I did add you to my Google Drive.
Oh,
Okay.
it probably would help if I had selected the right thing.
Like I said, it's not critical that you use those exact measurements if you know how to make shapes that are an exact size. You know how to do that? Adrian?
I'm sorry, didn't know you were on the phone to me.
So what I was saying was, it's not critical that you make this box those exact measurements if you know how. I just want you to know how to make a box that is an exact size. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You're good.
Oh. Okay, I know what I gotta do. I know how I'm gonna fix that. I know what I'm doing.
Maybe you can show me.
Yeah. I'd be interested in that concept too. So what do we do? Put it in the folder when we're done?
Yeah, put it in your Google Drive folder. You can call it exercise 1 or controller unit or whatever.
I've been meaning to ask,
My
how
first F.
exactly do you save it into the Google Drive? Because I currently either get the option to save it in the cloud or save it as a document on my computer.
Well, first save it as a document on your computer.
I see.
And then open up your Google Drive folder.
And then upload it from there.
Yeah, and then just simply upload it into that folder.
Okay, I understand.
Whoa. Sorry.
It's okay.
I just made my 1 go flying all over the board here. I'm sorry. It was kind of like that last spinning thing that Kim, I guess, was doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. I take it back. Oh, it'd probably help if I worked on the right layer. That changes a lot.
You know what else? Yeah. Okay.
I swear I have brain cells. I promise I do.
Can I borrow some?
Maybe.
So if my 1 and my 2 aren't perfectly lined up, because when I try to use the alignment tool, the 1 goes flying around my graphic. Crazy, not staying in my little, ellipsis. It goes all over.
Right.
Center it within the rounded rectangle.
Okay. Let me show you one quick trick here that'll help you out.
I'm trying to line up my 1 and my 2, and I'm.
Okay. Let's say you have a 1 over here.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, you've got a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for some reason, your alignment isn't working out, right? Well, try this, right? Click on your black arrow tool or hit the letter V, and then click somewhere in the gray area to deselect everything.
Yeah.
Now, take your arrow and click on the ruler at the top of your document and hold your mouse down while you click on that ruler. Now drag straight.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm making a. Wait, I need a 2. I don't have a 2. Oh, I'm using the thing. Hold on one sec. One sec. I'm doing a Control C and a Control V, and I'm making the 1. I was trying to make the 1 a 2. 2. Okay. Do what now?
Okay. Click on your arrow tool or hit the letter V.
Oops.
Okay. Now click in the gray area to deselect everything.
Uh-huh.
Now click on your ruler and hold your mouse down. Ruler at the top.
Hold on one sec. I got to do the control R. Okay, click on the ruler. Yeah. Oh. Uh-huh.
And hold your mouse down.
Click on the ruler and hold my mouse down.
Right, and then drag straight down. It's going to pull a line with it. It's a guideline.
Oh, I like that guideline.
And take that, drag it so it's right underneath the bottom of the 1.
Yeah.
And then you can use that to position your 2 so it's at the same height.
Whew. That's coolest. All right, so I'm sort of doing that. I put it in the middle, kind of. A little trouble getting my 1 to be very well behaved, but okay, so now if I grab my 2, I can't grab my 2.
Ha! Genius.
Really?
Yes.
Doing good?
Genius between I hate the pen tool and the pen tool is the only way that I could do this.
Also, the pen tool is not a pen tool.
That's
What
true.
is it?
It doesn't look like a pen very much, does it?
It looks like one of those really old-timey pens.
Yeah, it's like a calligraphic pen where they actually put ink in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can my my 1 and my 2 be different colors? I'm not sure if they are, but if they were, would that be okay?
That would be perfectly fine.
Okay. Okay, so so once you have, whoa, that was interesting. Whatever I just pushed made all your stuff scroll. Oh, you made it scroll at the same time I pushed something. That freaked me out. Okay, so then we save this and put it in the folder?
Correct.
Okay.
I miss how to make the round edges on the squares, on the rectangles.
How to make the rounded edges?
Yes.
Let me show you. So if you have a rectangle, inside the corners of the rectangles, you'll see these little circles. If you click on the circle and drag it towards the center, it'll produce rounded edges.
Okay, thank you.
Professor Lumeau, if my rectangle is not centered very well in my 8.5 by 11, I would do like Control A and try to move the whole thing over, or just don't bother about trying to center it. It's, you know, like if it's in the page, it's towards the top third, but it's a little off to the right.
Yeah, what I do in a case like that is you could draw a couple of guidelines. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you give me 1 sec? Someone's at my door. Just 1 second. I'm coming right back.
All right.
I'll hold you to that.
So draw some guidelines, but how do I drag it? Do the Control A?
So, so what you can do is, like if I need to center something in the middle of a document, I'll click on the very top ruler with my black arrow and I'll drag down a guideline to 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'll click on my left ruler and I'll drag a guideline out to 4.25.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take my shape and I'll make that the center of the shape fit right where those 2 points intersect.
Yeah, but if I have a whole group now.
Oh, yeah, well, you can select, yes, right. Control A, select everything.
Okay, okay, I'm going to do it. Thank you. Sorry, hon. I'm just trying to. I know. Can you give me 1 sec? Because if I can be almost done with this, I just have to upload it. I know. I just want to do something more. No.
Okay, well, I was going to add a whole bunch of really crazy colors and stuff. I guess I'm not allowed to, though.
You can. It's okay.
Nah, it's my thing's being mean to me.
I'm sorry.
When I went to save it, just a PDF compatible file, I guess. That's what it picked for me.
Yeah, actually, you can save it. Thanks for saying that, actually. When you go File, Save As, there's a drop-down menu here that allows you different formats to save it in. The default is Adobe Illustrator, which is just fine because I can open that. But also there's things like PDF that you can choose.
I have to take just a quick break, so I'll be right back. But I'm still trying to move that whole group, and I was trying to save it before I tried to move it, before I destroyed it, because it's done.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And so I was trying to save it. So I would go File, Save As, Save as Type, Adobe Illustrator, and then we can just call it Controller Mia B, or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll come back and adjust it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Computer. I should probably make a new folder in my many folders. Preferably not in downloads.
Share a folder with me yet?
I should have, yes.
Okay, yeah.
If not, I mean, if you still have access to the old one from the animation class, I can throw stuff in there.
No. Make a new one, because I'm going to put all these folders in one of my folders.
Oh, wait, no. Not. I guess I'll throw it in with the Photoshop stuff.
No.
No. This I'm talking about on my personal one.
Oh, okay.
On my personal one, there is no order. There's just chaos.
Sounds like
Illustrator is very similar to Animate CC, huh?
This program?
Yeah, like I've used Animate CC, and it's very similar, the tools and everything, and sometimes even shortcuts.
Yeah, you're right. It's like Animate without the timeline.
Yeah.
Because Animate's a vector art program like this. In fact, you can very easily move between these two programs. Like if you make something in here, you can very easily import it into Animate.
Yeah, I have heard that company animation studios do that combination when they're using Flash or Animate. Sometimes they will do it on Illustrator and then move it. Although I kind of don't see that much the difference. I'm not sure if it's even like how to say, like what's the difference between the drawing tools?
Between which tools?
Well, the tools of Illustrator and Animate.
Oh, okay. Well, basically what it is you might consider Animate Illustrator's kid brother, because Animate has a fairly small set of vector art tools compared to Illustrator. Illustrator's just got them in spades. So if you want to create a sophisticated vector art piece, you use Illustrator. But if you want to create an animation with a simpler art, you can use Animate.
Okay, thanks for the
Simpler, he
clarification.
says, as I have the most convoluted art style.
Yeah, simpler is better in some cases.
I got rid of a lot
How bad
of
is it?
details. Detailed. And detailed.
Oh,
And
the rule of
detailed.
animation is that it can't be too detailed.
Yeah. I
Greg,
thought, well, I'm stubborn. I can do this. I cannot.
Well, okay, sure, but I feel bad for the animators that are gonna, like, how to say, if you ever lead a show with complex design, or those poor animators.
It's okay. I'll be one of the ones suffering. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm not going to let them suffer alone.
Oh, that's good then.
Greg, I've got another question.
Yeah.
So you showed me how to align things, but I was wondering how I could align, let's take like the number 1, for example, if I could align the number 1 centered to the square, because when I try it, both of them move, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it does make sense. One of the easiest ways to do that, let's see. Let me make. Are you talking about like that rounded rectangle?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me make a rounded rectangle. And then let me make a text box that has the number 1 in it. Okay. Now, the trick here would be to first align the 1 so that it's centered in the text box, right? Now, we didn't really talk about the paragraph window, but if you make like a 1 in a text box, and you come over here to your tools, your floating palettes on the right, and find the one called paragraph, and open that.
Okay.
Now, in the paragraph, you have all of these different types of alignment you can do with your paragraph. What you want is you want the center align, which is the second one from the left.
Did
Now,
you go under a line and then paragraph, or no?
No, you just go over to paragraph.
Oh, okay, I have a different setup. Okay, I found it.
Now, if you're going to try and line text up inside of an object, it's pretty important that it be centered inside its text box first. Okay? Now, if I go over here and I just put this text anywhere, my text box with this center aligned text, and I select that and I click Shift and select the rounded rectangle, now I can go over and open up my Align palette. And what I want is I want this second one from the left, which is going to align them horizontally, and see how it puts it right in the center there.
Because you're on paragraph and you selected the rounded doohickey.
Well, the only thing I used paragraph for was I had my text box and I made sure that I used the center alignment on the text box.
And then you went and did what?
And then I put this text right over here with the rounded rectangle, opened up my Align button, and chose the center horizontal.
Oh, okay. I kind of did mine manually. Is that a problem? Because I already submitted it in the folder.
No, I do it manually all the time. It's fine.
Okay. And on my circles, you know, the 3 white circles that are showing on the controller, I think you said you didn't care, but I think I might have a little bit of an outline on my circle.
It's
the
fine.
Second color is okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see if you see it in the folder, in your folder? It said it loaded. It would say controller Mia B. Please.
Yeah, give me a second.
Your royal, sir. Yes. Be more formal.
Your Highness.
There it is.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I did the split the square into a triangle. So it's not as elongated as, I could have elongated it. Should I have?
No.
Oh, I touched my glasses.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Your first assignment here is really just to get the idea of how to sort of get your way around the program. I'm not looking for any kind of perfection or anything. It's just to learn how to do shapes and colors, really.
Okay, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist since I'm hyperventilating. But don't worry, anybody. If I fall off, I'll be back.
Just remember, you're on the beach.
I know.
Yeah, you're on the
that's
beach.
Really, it's helping. It really. I move over and I go, oh, that's nice.
I need something like that. I need to be on the beach.
Okay.
When I set Zoom up for work, it was a bit of a joke, and I set it up, and it was a long time ago. I didn't get an option for your background sharing. I didn't do it just now. I think it was from a long time ago, but I'd love to know how to change it. I wanted to keep changing it, like to the jungle and stuff, and see if we noticed, but I didn't have a chance. I was trying to keep up with this stuff. Oh man.
Are some of you guys still working on this controller unit? You guys pretty much have it?
Are we supposed to still be working on it? Because, like, I have the 1 and 2 buttons I'm working on.
No, I'm just checking in to see where you guys are, because if most of you are done with it, we can move on to talking about something else.
Yeah, because I was finished. I think I also just finished the one pride picture, finally.
Yay.
Right?
Right. Well, let me do this. Let me explain the next assignment to you, and then those of you that are finished can start working on it. If you go to the PDF that had the controller assignment on it and scroll down, that first one is what you might call an exercise, and this second one is your first project. So if we scroll down here, all of the stuff that it's asking us to learn is the stuff that we just learned before doing the previous exercise. So we don't have any more learning to do. All we have to do is know what the assignment is, and we can work on it. So let me explain.
For yourself.
So the assignment is that you're going to design some icons for an app. All right. So what you do is you create another 8.5 by 11 page like this, and then you go ahead and you can use your rectangle tool to make some boxes that are 1.75 by 1.75. And then inside those boxes, you want to create icons for 5 different things: a campfire circle, a secret lake, a sunset point, a friendship field, and a discovery lodge. And they show you down here at the bottom of the PDF what some of that stuff looks like. Let me go ahead and make my window smaller so I can bring it up so I can show that to you a little easier here. So, like, you know, all you have to do is use your shape tools to make different shapes that represent these different app icons, right? Now, we're not looking for Picasso or Da Vinci right here. It can be just anything that you're capable of rendering or that you think is interesting, right? And the idea is that you just would use this as a way to get better at the shape and color tools, right? So that's your first project. And you guys can start working on it now, and then you can work on it some more tonight, and you could even have some time tomorrow in class to finish it up if you like.
Okay, so the shapes we're just using what we have. Like we might erase a point on a circle to get that moon, for instance. Or,
yeah. Now we haven't gone into a lot of detail on using the pen tool, so I don't expect you guys to create custom shapes that are out of this world. Just work with a basic, you know, square, triangle, circle, rounded rectangular shape.
Okay, so in the I guess it might be 5. I can't quite see the little print right now, but 5 little 1.75 by 1.75 boxes. We just make our own artwork to be those icons for the map, right?
Correct, for the app.
And for the app. Okay, so sorry, old school. I was trying to make the 1.75 rectangle, and I'm drawing it. Wasn't there a way to make it the size right away?
Yeah, just click once.
That was it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's actually a square.
We
call it a rectangle, which it technically is.
Are you being picky? Well, no, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I'm saying the 1.75 by 1.75 rectangle. Well, in my school, we call that a square. Yeah. Okay.
Technically, our squares a type of rectangle.
Squares?
What's that? Is it square type?
Did you guys had squares? Oh, wait, we're asking about her question. Never mind.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, technically, could a square be part of rectangles? It's just a symmetrical rectangle.
Yes.
My dad was a math professor and a physics guy. I'm just saying it could be a part of a subgroup.
So where'd you get that PDF file again? I'm sorry, I didn't really notice where it was in the first place.
So all of the class files, everything about the class is going to be on the website that I have for the class, which is located at pima.dreamco.com. And Dreamco is DREAMCO.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you go there, if you scroll down and where it says download assignment, you click on that and that's the PDF. Now, by the way, we're not going to get to, there's some stuff underneath that we're not going to get to today, so we'll pick that up tomorrow. We're only going to have time to work on this today. So what I'd like you guys to do is work on this for the remainder of the class. And then, like I said, you can finish it up tonight or tomorrow morning, or I'll give you some time at the beginning of class tomorrow to work on it as well.
So it's due at the beginning of tomorrow class.
No, it's due tomorrow by the end of class. So that means if you don't finish it by the beginning of class, you can work on it during class.
Right.
Okay.
Dang it, I knew I was going to regret messing up with it.
So go ahead and work on this, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll just check in with you guys.
Okay.
And I think
we make our own icons for an app.
Right.
I hate to sound dumb, but
yeah, you're making 5 icons for an app.
okay. With our own interpretation, not matching the little sailboat that's there. Okay.
Right. So if you're an abstract artist, I'm who knows what they'll look like.
Oh, I know. Is this gonna be a blue square for water? It's a minimalist kind of a thing, you know? Oh boy.
A yellow circle for the sun.
That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm going. I don't know what the other categories are because my PDF is really shrimpy right at the moment, but I will go look and come up. It might work. Let's see. I don't know. Is it this one?
Oh.
So, friendship, discovery. So I think you'd probably frown upon if I just did colors, wouldn't you?
I think there would be some frowning involved.
Yeah, but is it like a big frown or is it a tiny frown?
Good point.
I think
so we cannot import. We're not supposed to be importing art into here. We're supposed to be using our shapes, right?
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stop the share